It's the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM, and as always on the go at ESPNSA.com. It's been a very somber and confusing day for the Dallas Cowboys and the team's fans. Now, if you haven't heard, it was reported this afternoon that one of the Cowboys coaches had died this morning. And I'm talking about strength and conditioning coach Marcus Paul. A couple of hours later, those stories were then retracted, and apparently Coach Paul is still alive. Now, here's what we know for sure. The Cowboys released a statement saying Coach Paul experienced what they described as, quote, a medical emergency at the Cowboys headquarters. This all happened just before 7:30 this morning. Reports from Frisco say Coach Paul was then rushed by ambulance to a nearby hospital. Head coach Mike McCarthy canceled the team's practice, which was scheduled for 11:30. Several reputable media outlets reported that Coach Paul had died, but apparently that's not the case. The Cowboys released a statement saying, quote, he is undergoing further medical tests and additional information will be made available at the appropriate time, end quote. We will have much more on this story. You know, Coach Paul, he joined the Cowboys staff in 2018. He's 54 years old. Still a developing story. We will have more on that. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Jimenez, former Rock the Mic champion here at ESPN San Antonio, co-host of the Fantasy Gods, which airs at 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings. I'm filling in for Jason Minix. Rob Thompson will join us later at 5 o'clock with a live stream. He's giving away the grand prize to the 2020 Rock the Mic champion. At 6 o'clock, we're going to have Dr. Thomas DeBarardino from TSAOG Orthopedics talking about all things injuries in the sports world. At 5:15, my fellow fantasy god, Brandon Medina, will be on the show. We'll be talking fantasy football. But for the next 3 hours, we have a special guest, Jill Jelnick, who you may recognize from Sports Tonight and one of my favorite shows, YOLO Texas. How are you doing today, Jill?
I'm great, Michael. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to talk sports with you in a busy, busy sports week.
It's a busy, busy day. Kind of confusing with all went on this morning. We have a lot to talk about today. We were going to talk about the Spurs draft, obviously a preview of the Cowboys game against the Washington football team on Thanksgiving. We're going to want to talk about, should the Cowboys fans really want them to win the division, or would it be better for them to tank? Okay. We're going to talk about things like how about Christmas ideas? If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife that is a sports fan, what should we be getting them? And if we're going on a trip, because Jill gets paid to travel, okay, we're going to be talking about where to go for Christmas break. I know she's going on a trip this weekend, so am I. It's going to be fun times. But as mentioned, just off the top again, we have a lot to talk about, but there was an emotional day today at the Star in Frisco. Cowboys strength and conditioning coach Marcus Paul suffered a serious medical emergency at the Star. The Cowboys are supposed to take the field in 48 hours, right? It was already a short week for them. Mm-hmm. And now they lose a day of practice. All this confusion going on. Can you imagine? They hear that he died, that a coach died, and then are told he's alive. Jill, how are they going to handle this? I mean, how should they go forward with this week with all these emotions going on?
It's difficult. And you said it earlier. It's confusing. You have certain media outlets reporting this. You have other outlets reporting this. Other reporters saying, hey, hold on. Let's make sure we have all these facts correct. And I think the big deal with this is that we need to make sure we're trusting the right people. And also, Michael, you mentioned the team. How does the team move forward with this? Well, how about the family? The families. Mm-hmm. We talked about this earlier before we went on the show. What is the information they're getting? And you're just hoping that somebody is telling the family and the close loved ones to Paul that, you know, the right information. And so as a team, though, moving forward, you need some sort of peace of mind. You know, is he in the hospital? What's his condition? Okay, we know this. We have this right. And then until you get that peace of mind, it's hard to focus on that game.
It has to be. And it's one of those things where, you know, Dan Cialana, who's producing the show today, mentioned before our show, he says, can you imagine being a family member and listening to or going on Twitter or hearing on the radio that your loved one had died when that wasn't the case. Now, I don't know his condition. I don't know if it's survivable or not. But the fact of the matter is that if he's still alive, he's still alive. And I'm not going to go down and blacklist every reputable organization that said he died. But there were some big, big names out there of media outlets that got this apparently wrong. Okay? So it's very, very confusing. And to think that this all happens, just, less than 48 hours or after the Cowboys have a stunning victory at Minnesota that very few people were expecting. They were on an emotional high, getting confidence, and now this gut punch going into Thursday's game. Jill, I have to ask you, we don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from the Cowboys, but because you are a former athlete yourself, do you think this is something that will galvanize a team, or do you think that this will be something that's stuck in the back of their mind in a bad way?
It definitely can galvanize a team, inspire a team, motivate a team. Anytime a team, player, individual, staff goes through an enormous amount of adversity, or even just a normal amount of adversity, it can pull players together like never before. An extreme example of this, how about Kobe Bryant and the Lakers winning it all this year? I mean, talk about absolutely heartbreaking and devastating to not only the players on that team, but that organization and that city. And then of all the years, they come back and they win the title. They do it in the middle of a pandemic. They do it in the bubble in Orlando. Yes, obviously it helped when you have LeBron James and a star-studded cast, right?
Yeah.
But I think that you have to look at that as an example of a team overcoming not just adversity, but using that towards motivation towards a goal. And so to answer your question, Michael, yes, I can see the Cowboys taking this and being motivated unlike any other. I mean, the Cowboys were already at the start of this season struggling for motivation, right? That was being questioned from day one. I think now that this is on their table, one, I think it comes down to them being able to have some sort of a peace of mind, and hopefully that's just more information before they kick off, right? If they could have a little more information on his condition, on Marcus Paul's condition, I think they could definitely be motivated and use this as an opportunity to perform well for him.
You mentioned Kobe Bryant's name, and my heart sank. Because that's exactly a scenario of loved ones, friends, and family finding out through the media what happened. And I don't blame the media for wanting to get the story. I mean, the fact of the matter is that, I spend all day long, we're prepping for this show, and we do various things. And I just saw a tweet earlier today saying Cowboys practice canceled. I thought that was kind of weird. And then
2 days before the game.
2 days before a game, serious medical situation. Interesting. And then I'm like, okay, is it a player? And then they say it's non-COVID, which makes it even, more serious in my eyes. Because, with COVID, you can, there are symptoms along the way. And this one right here, this one seemed to be a little bit more sudden. And then we get a tweet out there that we see that says it doesn't involve Jerry Jones. Okay, because I had not even thought about that it could have been Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones is going to live to be 180 years old. I never thought that. And then practice canceled. And then, I'm having lunch with my daughter, and I see tweets from reputable organizations saying that this coach had passed away. And I'm looking up his resume, 3 Super Bowls as a coach for the New England Patriots, 2 with the New York Giants. I'm like, wow, this guy, played 4 or 5 years in the NFL. He has had and then I saw age 54. What a young man. And so this has been a very devastating day. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but man, I'm human and I can empathize. And the fact of the matter is I saw all this, saw friends on Facebook posting, RIP coach, Yeah. And it's so tragic. It's so devastating what's going on. And he's probably not out of the woods yet. It may very well be that he passes. We won't know, and we shouldn't speculate. But it's got to be one of those days that they'll never forget, and one of those days that I think, well, like you said, could could spark the team in a way, and sometimes tragedy or illness or whatnot inspires others.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, Michael, I'll keep refreshing Twitter, keep checking everything that we can to see if there could be an update. But I will tell you this, I think because of how this situation first transpired in terms of outlets getting it wrong, I think people are going to be very, very careful. And we may not hear anything until tomorrow, or who knows, maybe even game day, Thanksgiving Day.
Agreed. 48 hours ago, Cowboy fans were really excited.
Yeah.
I
Coming
was
off that win. Yes, they were.
I was on my show Sunday saying, man, Dalvin Cook is going to rush for 150, 200 yards. He still had a good game.
Yes, he did.
And I want to know, who was that team that showed up on Sunday? Because when I saw Leighton Vander Esch just lay the wood on Dalvin Cook, and it wasn't like, oh, he stood him up at the line. No, he just socked him. I was like, oh my God, what team am I watching? This isn't the Cowboys of 2020. Looked like a different team. What did you enjoy about the game? What did you think about the Cowboys' performance? And what do you think that they're going to do from here on out?
I think you said it best, Michael. This is a Cowboys team we have not seen this season. And I think that is why it is so exciting, because Cowboys fans went into this season with, of course, the usual high expectations, right? Super Bowl or bust. And just week after week, even with Dak Prescott doing his thing, they underdelivered. Defense, it was atrocious, right? Well, okay, slowly but surely, the offensive line started to get healthy. Slowly but surely, Zeke kind of got rid of his yips and started to hold on to that ball a little bit more. And then finally, it was almost as if everything kind of came together, right time, right place, against the Vikings. I loved seeing Zeke doing his thing over 100 yards on the ground. We felt like, right, that was the Zeke we're used to. Okay, here we go. I thought offensive line was much stronger. Andy Dalton did what he had to do. He was able to make plays when the team needed him to. Same with the offense. I was impressed, but at the same time, it was almost as if, okay, we were waiting for this. It's a little late in the season, but hey, better late than never, right? You guys showed up.
They did show up, and Andy Dalton, if you know that Lucky Charms song, Magically Delicious, I was singing when he was playing, Andy Dalton, he's delightfully mediocre, and the thing is that delightfully mediocre, sounds like I'm insulting him, but it's not.
It does.
Okay, maybe a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that it righted the ship. And, he righted the ship, and sometimes just don't mess up.
Yeah.
Sometimes just don't mess up can win. And sometimes when you mess up, it still works out. That CeeDee Lamb touchdown, I'm sorry. That was a bad pass. But CeeDee had an incredible catch. I was like, oh my God. When that ball was up in the air, I just said, awful throw. And then a second and a half later, I was like, oh my God.
Spectacular catch.
He got that. But we look at it right now. Everybody in the NFC East has had a bad season. Okay.
That's putting it nicely.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about these four quarterbacks that are in the NFC East. Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz, and Alex Smith. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. They've all shown their moments. Andy Dalton has been a Pro Bowler. Carson Wentz has been a Pro Bowler. Technically, he is a Super Bowl winner, right?
Technically.
And Daniel Jones, I mean, when the carpet monster isn't tripping him, he can run. But, yeah. I mean, it's not like there's somebody there who's going to just is far and away the best quarterback in the NFC East, right? I mean, so the Cowboys have a legitimate shot.
Right. No, the best quarterback in the NFC East was Dak Prescott, right? And obviously, if he was still healthy, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, and we wouldn't even be talking about how awful the NFC East would be, because the Cowboys would have that on, hopefully, a lot better position than they do now. In terms of the best quarterback, though, you kind of alluded to it. Carson Wentz, right, is the name that jumps out among that list. And even though he leads the four of them, Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, and Alex Smith, in passing yards, he actually is not who I would say the best quarterback is right now. Also because he leads the NFL with 14 interceptions. This is not the Carson Wentz we've seen the past couple of years. Daniel Jones has a better QB rating than Carson Wentz right now. Daniel Jones' QB rating is 78.2. Carson Wentz is just a couple notches below him. It's hard. I want to say, Michael, I want to say Andy Dalton, but we just haven't seen enough from him this year to make that argument. Yes, the Vikings win was big. And like you said, he deliciously mediocre. They almost were able to pull that off against the Steelers, right? But, as much as I want to say Andy Dalton is the stronger of the four, God, it just goes back to how bad this division is.
But Jill, you said it right there. You can make an argument that Andy Dalton is the best.
Even with 2 games?
Yes, and that's how bad the NFC East is.
That's how bad the NFC East is.
They suck.
Exactly.
Growing up, I used to hear the phrase gunslinger. Whenever I hear somebody throw up for a lot of interceptions, they're a gunslinger.
Oh, yeah.
Brett Favre is a gunslinger. Well, he would gunsling it 40 yards down the field. Carson Wentz is throwing pick sixes that don't go 2 yards beyond line of scrimmage. It is ridiculously bad. I want to touch on this a little bit more. So we're going to have another Cowboys segment coming up. But more importantly, there's good and bad of all this, right? If they play well, they make the division. They can win the division.
Right,
if they play poorly, they could get a good draft pick. So coming up, I want to talk about which one should Cowboy fans go for? Should they cheer for? Okay, and can you be a true fan if you're cheering for them to lose? Okay. Now, a couple of things also. We have high school football here on ESPN San Antonio. The ESPN San Antonio High School Football Game of the Week is energized by Hill Electric and brought to you by MomNeedsABreakCleaning.com, Smoky Moe's Barbecue, and the San Antonio Express News, among others. Please listen to the games. We have some really good action going on. It's fantastic. Again, more Cowboys talk after this. You're listening to The Blitz on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, your home for the holidays.
ESPN San Antonio wants to pay for your home in 2021. ESPN San Antonio's Home for the Holidays contest. Entry and details at ESPNSA.com. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Injuries do happen, so if you happen to twist, pull, pop, or snap something with that backyard football game over Thanksgiving, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Now, not all injuries require surgery, and Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. There's no reason to be in pain. At TSAOG Orthopedics, they also offer telemedicine services available through OrthoConnect. You can learn more at their website, TSAOG.com. Injuries do happen. When they do, you want to make the athlete's choice. Now, you don't have to be an athlete to go to TSAOG Orthopedics, but you definitely want to make the athlete's choice with their locations all over San Antonio, the Ortho Now injury clinics that are even open on Saturday. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, online, TSAOG.com.
Celebrate the joy of Christmas at SeaWorld with millions of sparkling lights. Get festive with Elmo, jolly with Old St. Nick, and watch Rudolph's nose glow. We're making your safety a top priority because Christmas is meant to be merry and bright. Don't miss our Black Friday sale with the biggest deals of the year. Buy a season pass, get a second one 50% off. Now through November 27th. Restrictions apply. Experience the wonder of the season at SeaWorld's Christmas celebration.
Napa know-how. At Napa, you can get 20% off 3 or more items with the $4.99 Napa Tool Bag. Yep, 20% off power tools, 20% off wipers, 20% off oil, and more. It's a whole bag of tricks. Well, actually, it's one trick over and over again, but it's a good one, saving you 20% on 3 or more items. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/20.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 25 years, I've represented people and families seriously injured in car and commercial truck collisions. After a collision, you need to know that insurance companies have trained adjusters and attorneys on staff with one goal in mind: pay as little as possible. How good are the insurance companies? It's fairly easy to figure out. All you need to know is that insurance companies report net profits in the billions of dollars every year. That's net profits. And this year will be no different. If you or your family have been seriously injured in an auto collision, I want you to call me as soon as you can after the collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Your call will be answered anytime, day or night. The phone call and our initial consultation is absolutely free of charge with no obligation. I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, 210-900-0400, or find me on the web at alawyerforus.com.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned family-run business by the Townsends. You know I've had a water softener in my home for years. Had one in the old house. Obviously, I have one in the new house. In fact, it was the first thing I had installed when I moved into this new house was the new system from Alamo Water Softeners. Now, if you're an existing Alamo Water Softeners customer, take advantage of their Black Friday specials. 50% off Pioneer whole home filtration systems. It is the next level of filtration when you mention ESPN San Antonio, and $49.99 for a complete inspection and tune-up of your Alamo Water Softener system. Now, if you don't have an Alamo Water Softener, you need one. In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country, and I can tell you firsthand, when you get one, you are going to love it. My daughter, who's home from college, is thrilled to be taking a shower with Alamo Water Softeners, giving her that soft water. Get yours. AlamoWaterSofteners.com is the website. AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
It's the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 ESPN, 94.5 FM. As always, on the go at ESPNSA.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, filling in for Rob and Jason today. I've got Jill Jelnick with us today from Sports Tonight and YOLO, Texas. I cannot wait till we have a YOLO, Texas discussion in the 5 o'clock hour. That's going to be so much fun.
It's going to get a little crazy, just to make sure our listeners are warned. It's going to get a little crazy.
We're filling in for the guys today. Rob's actually going to join us at 5 o'clock. He's going to have a live stream giving away the grand prize to our 2020 Rock the Mic champion. He's getting a motorcycle. That is outstanding.
Christmas coming early. Not a bad gift at all.
Oh, no, that's fantastic. I'm enjoying it. The 2020 winner was named Quinn Hudson. He was on my show earlier this week, this past weekend on the Fantasy Gods. He did a fantastic job. He made a proclamation that the Rams would upset the Bucks and the Cowboys would upset the Vikings. And he was adamant. He goes, play it on the radio. Next week, I want this on the air. And I did the math on it. If you had parlayed that as a money line, $100 bet would have won you $805. Pretty good.
Dude, wouldn't that been nice? Quinn.
So the Fantasy Gods, again, my show with Brandon Medina airs at 11 o'clock. We give you all that you need to know for the fantasy football day as far as how to set your lineup, who to sit, who to bench, who to start, trade options, various things that are going on all fantasy-wise. We talk to you about it. And people ask the question, why is it called the Fantasy Gods? It's because I'm a fantasy god, man. We have a listener league, and I'm in first place. Okay,
because you are a fantasy god. There you go. Simple as that.
It's so funny. It's so funny. We're in a fantasy league. We invited 10 listeners, right? And right now, there's 2 weeks to go in the season, and there's a chance that I would play Brandon in the Super Bowl. That would be so funny. That would be so funny. Hey, we're coming back talking Cowboys. The Cowboys have a very interesting situation going on right now. They have had a bad season, but they're still in the driver's seat. They still control their own destiny if they want to make the playoffs because the NFC East is so bad. Everyone has just 3 wins. It's ridiculous, right? But what's interesting about it is I was looking at NFL mock drafts today, and it's crazy because, the draft's not for April, right? It's so far away. And I'm looking at it, and I said, well, I wonder if the Cowboys win the division, where do they pick? And if they don't win the division, where do they pick? And as of today, they have the number 4 pick in the 2021 NFL draft. Number 4.
Wow.
The Philadelphia Eagles, because right now they're technically in first place in the NFC East, would be drafting 19.
That's a huge gap. That's absurd.
An absurd gap there. 4-19. That's crazy. So that being said, Jill, I don't know if you're a Cowboy fan or not, but let's just say that you are. Okay? I can pretend like I am. If your team had the ability to win a division title with just 6 wins and have a losing record but still make the playoffs and have a home game for the playoffs for the first round, would you rather take that or would you rather have the 4th or 5th pick in the draft?
Oh, it's a good question. First, let me set the record straight, Michael. Because I cover the Cowboys and I'm a reporter and a sports broadcaster in San Antonio, of course I am a Cowboys fan because when they do well, we all do well, right? So it's an interesting question. I think what we first have to acknowledge is the fact that we're even asking whether or not it's better for the Cowboys to tank is a problem within itself, right? You never want to be faced with any sort of decision like this. But as intriguing and interesting as the number 4 pick in the draft, no, you don't tank, Michael, not even for the 4th pick, but especially coming off of a 2020 college football season that has had so many question marks. We don't know how legit these players are. What have we really seen from these seniors? Are they really prepared for the next level? There's so many questions coming off of this college football season, unless you are getting Trevor Lawrence and you're getting him, it might be different, but I'm still going to say no, Michael, because we have every indication and every belief that Dak's going to come back. So usually tanking teams have either like a bad quarterback or a huge lack of talent. That's not the Dallas Cowboys. They have good talent. They have a great offense and they have a pretty darn good backup. I would argue one of the best backups in the league. And we've seen that the last 2 games has been proof of that. So no, and then no, and no. Do not tank.
Okay, Jill, I'm just going to say this. You're wrong. Okay, they should tank. They should tank because it's gonna feel good. We're division champions. We're in the playoffs. We have a game at the end of December. But why? So they can get steamrolled by a team and be 1 and out, and then all of a sudden, is Andy Dalton gonna take them to the promised land? He's not Tom Brady.
Take them to the first round of playoffs. Come on.
He's not Tom Brady taking Drew Bledsoe's job. He's not Steve Young behind Joe Montana. He's not Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre. By the way, I'm showing my age right now. But the fact of the matter is that he's not that next level guy. So right now, it's not only tanking for Trevor because the Jets, they're winless, so they're probably going to get Trevor. But Justin Fields from Ohio State is also high up there. Other quarterbacks, Zach Wilson from BYU. Those 3 are considered to be top 5 quarterbacks. I'm not saying that the Cowboys should tank in order to get a quarterback.
It's saying,
just to get the best offensive line or whatever the case may be. I'm a huge Spurs fan, right? He was such a big fan that I wanted them to do well in the bubble but not make the playoffs, and I was so glad that they did it. Because Devin Vassell would not be a Spur.
That's it. It's a very good point.
He would not be a Spur.
But could you even think of a world where Popovich would even allude or hint to any sort of player or anybody on that team, hey guys, it's okay if you don't give 100%. It's okay if we don't put growth first. I just anybody that's from a sports background, you can't not give 100,000%. And that's at any level, high school, college, pro. And yes, this Cowboys team, it came out of the gates rough and slow, but I'm sorry, making it to the playoffs would be a huge, huge success for this team that, just a couple weeks ago, we were writing them off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me ask you this. Cowboys remaining schedule. They are 3-7. Okay,
Yep.
Put on be Nostradamus here, make a prediction here.
Okay.
Washington, 3-7, who they play next.
Okay.
Then they go at Baltimore.
Right. Who's struggling. They've lost 3 of their last 4.
Lamar Jackson has taken a step back this year. Then they play the Bengals, who are without Burrow.
Right. Another struggling team.
Home against the 49ers, who's been decimated by injuries.
Yep.
Home
Even
against
more
the
so than
Eagles,
Cowboys.
3-6-1 Eagles. And then on the road against the Clapper and the New York Giants. Jason Garrett.
I mean, it was that 5? 5, that was their next 5 games?
That's
6?
the next 6 games.
I say they go 6-0. Coming off of Sunday's game, Michael. Coming off of Sunday's game. And especially if they're able to if we see that same team we saw Sunday play again on Thanksgiving, man, then I would say watch out Ravens, who are definitely on the down, right? And then as soon as, Niners, like you said, Bengals, struggling with injuries, Giants, Eagles, I can see this as a turning point in the season. And I'm not saying that because I'm a longtime Dallas Cowboys fan or anything. I'm saying that because what I saw on Sunday was a completely different team.
Okay. I kind of agree with you on this because
you agree with me on this.
I'm looking at the schedule. I'm looking at the schedule going,
hey,
winnable game, winnable game, winnable game, winnable game, winnable game, winnable game. So if I had to predict it, I think that with this ridiculously easy schedule the rest of the way, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be 7-9 by the end of the year.
Hey,
and
there
that's
you go.
enough.
And hosting
and
a first-round playoff game. Yep.
And that's enough to win the first round of the playoffs or to host a playoff game. And then at that point, you never know what happens. You never know what happens. Later on, we're going to talk more NFL. I want to talk to you, Jill, about how many teams can legitimately win the Super Bowl this year.
Ooh, yeah. Other than the Steelers, right?
Yeah. 12 teams make the playoffs. But are there really 12 contenders? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to hit up more on the Spurs because, man, the Spurs, I'm super excited about this year, but I want to get into reasonings behind my fandom and what I hope out of them. And we need to set expectations as Spurs fans. Like we're setting expectations as Cowboy fans, we need to do that as Spurs fans as well. Now we're getting you ready for your Thanksgiving games. We have a special Fantasy Gods brought to you by RDK Advisors tomorrow from 4 to 5. It's only a 1-hour show tomorrow on the Blitz, so it's going to be a Fantasy Gods special show. Join me, Jill, Brandon Medina. We'll get you ready for your Turkey Day matchups. Again, the Fantasy Gods is brought to you by RDK Advisors. You're listening to 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, your home for the holidays.
Follow your favorite San Antonio area high school on 210varsity.com. Instant scores anytime on any device. Upload photos and videos from the action on your school's page. Click on 210varsity.com. Powered by Hill Electric, MomNeedsABreakCleaning.com, and ESPN San Antonio.
This ESPN San Antonio Sports Center update is brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners, 274-6122.
Thomas J. Henry has been named one of the best places to work in the nation for 2020 by Glassdoor. Start your career today at tjhlaw.com. That's tjhlaw.com. San Antonio, Texas.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who refuse to let happy hour end without squeezing in one more round. The type of guys who would rather sweat from unspeakable places than stop eating the spiciest wings on the menu. And the men who still chuckle when they order their wings bone in. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Due to overwhelming response last week, Diamonds Direct is continuing our annual pre-holiday store-wide sale all the way through Cyber Monday. That's right, you get an extra week to take advantage of extraordinary savings. Save 20% and more. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, designer fashion jewelry, colored gemstones, engagement and wedding rings. Case after case of amazing deals. It's our most popular event of the year, now extended through Cyber Monday for your convenience. We've asked our designer partners to send even more selection to accommodate the demand. We've received extensions on our aggressive financing options. We've thrown the rule book out the window to make this happen. It's Diamonds Direct's biggest and longest sale ever. We're talking better than typical Black Friday pricing store-wide on the most popular holiday gifts. In a year filled with surprises and changes, this is one you can celebrate. Get her the most memorable and most romantic holiday gift ever and save 20% and more off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable value price. Don't miss the extended savings now through Cyber Monday at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships, backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle. With options like Blind Spot Assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Now with IRS Section 179, businesses could be eligible for up to a $25,900 tax deduction. That's up to $5,439 in tax savings.
Options and model availability may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment described as optional. $5,439 tax savings based on 21% federal tax rate and eligibility to claim full $25,900 Section 179 vehicle deduction. Your tax rate and eligibility may vary. Consult your tax advisor for more information. Limits may apply. Visit mbvans.com. Offer valid through December 31st, 2020.
Welcome back to the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. As always, we're on the go at ESPNSA.com. My name's Michael Jimenez. I'm joined by Jill Jelnick today from Yolo, Texas, and Sports Tonight. Fantastic. Doing a fantastic job today. We're having fun filling in for Jason and Rob.
It's easy when there's a lot of sports going on.
There is a lot of sports going on, but you know what? I just realized over the commercial break that I got really old.
Oh, yeah?
I was reading.
Just hit you.
Well, as you know, there's going to be certain phrases that you're going to use later on in life, like, I got to stretch my legs, which is what I said earlier today. The Grammy nominations were released today, and I recognized about 20% of the artists on there. So it was a little bit crazy. My girl Halsey, I don't think she got any nominations, so she's the only really current person that I listen to. But there's a lot of Billie Eilish, a lot of Beyonce out there. I heard The Weeknd, who's going to be in the Super Bowl halftime show this year.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, apparently he was the one that got snubbed. He didn't get anything, even though Blinding Lights was a fantastic song, was number one on the charts. So fantastic. Hey, we are not only on Facebook Live, so you can watch this show if you want to. You know, so we're on ESPN San Antonio's Facebook page. Go on Facebook Live. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @210FantasyGod. Jill's is her name, so it's @Jill, JILLJELNICK. So
not a lot of Jill Jelnicks out there.
Exactly. I do want to go to some of the comments that people are sending us on Facebook Live. Rob Martin says, Cowboys should tank. They ain't going to do anything in the playoffs. And then he ends it with, go Pack, go.
Okay. So that comment is thrown out of the pack.
Yeah. What are those called? Offsetting penalties. Repeat first down. That nothing. Ernie Zuniga from KABB, thank you for listening. I've known Ernie for a long, long time. He says, how good is the NFC East going to be next season?
Oh.
Okay, so we're saying that Dak is going to come back, and
right.
Dak's going to come back, and Daniel Jones will have another year under his belt. The Washington football team might get a little bit better. Antonio Gibson and McLaurin and all them would get better. No, I don't think it's going to be a good division next year, but I think you'll be top heavy. You'll have 2 good teams and 2 bad teams.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Okay. Hate to do this segue, but speaking of bad teams, the Spurs didn't make the playoffs last year.
Ouch, Michael. Come on. You're a Spurs fan.
I'm a huge Spurs fan. Okay, huge Spurs fan. And I probably spend way too much time on Twitter because Twitter was just going insane the past couple of weeks. I think fans were thinking, or at least Spurs Twitter was thinking, that we were going to get rid of LaMarcus Aldridge and that DeMar DeRozan was going to be gone and that there was going to be wheeling and dealing and we get the number 2 pick and all of this different stuff. And then what ends up happening? I'll tell you what ends up happening. The Spurs had a fantastic draft, and we have fans who are complaining because we had a fantastic draft. I don't get it. Jill, what did you think about what happened last week for the Spurs?
I mean, first of all, it was the first time they were picking from the lottery since 1997 when they picked, that one guy that was pretty good for them. Oh, yeah, Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I think it's in the Virgin Islands.
Exactly, right? So I think first and foremost, you have to acknowledge that this is a different time for Spurs. And they had the opportunity, right, to maybe trade up, to maybe make some magic, do some flashy moves. That's not their style. They didn't. GM Brian Wright said yes. They entertained the ideas they had all options on the table, but in the end, they stuck with their positions and they feel very confident about their picks. But to your point, Michael, yeah, I agree with you. 2 very solid guys. 11th pick overall with Devin Vassell from Florida State, an elite defender. He's going to fit in right away. But I think once again, is it a flashy draft from the Spurs? No. Did we really expect that from them? No. I think the biggest questions are what's ahead for the Spurs. What are the moves are they going to make with LaMarcus Aldridge, right? They already signed DeMar DeRozan to the 1-year contract extension. Great. But here's the thing. Oh, and then also today we have to mention they re-signed center Jakob Poeltl as well as Drew Eubanks. Okay. So now we have 2 Spurs that had question marks that are now coming back for the 2020-2021 season, okay? I think the questions are going to be down the line, what are they going to do with LaMarcus Aldridge? They tried to trade him earlier in the last season, didn't work out, okay? What's going to be this team's identity moving forward? We know DeMar DeRozan's going to be at the helm. He's going to lead the way. Is he going to have LA next to him or not?
If we're seeing any type of identity right now that is coming around, it's defense. That is what this draft said right here. And I hate the fact that they call Devin Vassell a 3-and-D guy. I watched way too much Florida State basketball last year.
You knew the Spurs were going to draft from them, right? You had your Spurs fans
intuition going.
Exactly.
well, here's the thing with the Spurs and college basketball. My friends and I, we go to Vegas every March or every other March,
nice.
And we do final. We do the March Madness, the first 2 rounds and whatnot. So we really get into it. And my favorite team, the one that I was like, man, this Patrick Williams, this Vassell, these guys are really good. And I'm looking at them going, God, I hope they get a 3 or 4 spot. And then March Madness got canceled. But I watched way too much of it, and I was like, man, I wish the Spurs would get that guy. And when the Spurs got him, I was like, oh, my God, they did. And the phrase 3-and-D for Spurs fan is, well, that means Danny Green. Danny Green can't dribble the ball, okay? Vassell can actually, he can catch it, he can shoot it, he can drive it in, he can do a little bit of everything. I'm not saying that he reminds me of Sean Elliott, but I think he has shades of it.
Okay.
It's just, I see him going, that guy is growing, can get bigger. If he can turn into a slasher, he suddenly becomes a Sean Elliott-like player in my eyes. Trey Jones. Okay, I'm used to the Spurs drafting players from countries that I can't even identify on a map. Okay? And they stash them away, or we never see them, or they go to Austin forever.
Right.
But we got some guys from Duke who Coach K coached him, right? And Coach K called Trey Jones the best point guard in the draft this year. That was his opinion. Now, that was also his player.
Might be a little biased there, Coach K.
Okay, maybe a little biased, but let's just say that it's 70% true or 70% possible.
I'll take 70%.
Yeah, I don't think, it looks like the way that the stars are aligning here with the re-signing of Pirtle, with Drew Eubanks, and getting rid of like a Tyler Zeller or something like that. Trey Jones actually fits in, and it helps the Spurs with the cap. And I think that the days of this being a just shoot type of team right now is going away. Addition by subtraction. Spurs got rid of or didn't re-sign Bryn Forbes. They're not bringing back Marco Bellinelli. So you ask, what is the identity of the team? The identity of the team is now looking like defense. And now you're going to have to go up against a team. So think about another team. Okay, they may have superstars and whatnot, and they are better. But the Spurs are going to trot out there DeJounte Murray, who was a second-team All-NBA defensive player a couple of years ago. Derek White, who was just a god defensively. Keldon Johnson, the babyface pit bull. He's amazing. And then LaMarcus is actually a pretty good defender. He's gotten better over the years since he's been with the team. Lonnie Walker's a good defender. Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, Eubanks, Pirtle plays defense too.
Yep.
You ask for an identity. It's not sexy. It's not above the rim, but it's something to look forward to next year.
Well, and the irony is that doesn't Coach Pop do best when it's not sexy, when it's not an obvious flashy team, right? He's much better when it comes to the defenders, when it comes to like you said, the not so sexy players. And I think that is quickly starting to be the identity. Yes. But I think also to your point, we still have a couple more question marks to figure out, especially with LaMarcus Aldridge down the stretch.
I like, Spurs, that 99 team that won the title, the first NBA title for the Spurs. They got that they are boring label because of that team, because they clamped down defensively. 3, 5, 7, and 14 were not boring. Those were fun teams to watch. But the Spurs held teams down to 79, 80, 85 points a game, and people consider that boring. So we're going to come back in a few minutes. I want to talk more about the Spurs. You mentioned DeRozan's name. You mentioned LaMarcus's name. What should the Spurs do with them this year? How are they going to mesh with the team? More importantly, if they're gone next year, Spurs are going to have a lot of cash to spend. What's a legitimate prospect that we should go after? are we going to go after Giannis? Is that really a thing that the Spurs can do? So let's talk about this after the break. You're listening to The Blitz on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, your home for the holidays.
The ESPN San Antonio High School Football Game of the Week, energized by Hill Electric. Brought to you by Mom Needs a Break Cleaning, the San Antonio Express News, Smoky Moe's Barbecue, and the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Every Friday night starting at 7.
Do you have a retirement plan? No matter your age or how close you are to retirement, you need a plan to make sure you don't run out of money. Jason Minnick's here for Pax Financial Group. At Pax Financial Group, they know you want to be financially prepared. In order to do that, you need trusted guidance. At Pax, they have the experience and tools to crunch your retirement numbers and get the answers you need. If you have a plan, let Pax double-check all your numbers. At Pax, they believe everybody deserves to be hopeful about their future. They understand why it is important for families to protect their hard-earned money, and a key reason they're a trusted financial advisor for so many families for over the past decade. Connect with Pax Financial Group. Call them at 210-881-5700. That phone number again, 210-881-5700, or go to the website PaxFinancialGroup.com, PaxFinancialGroup.com, PaxFinancialGroup.com. Investment advisory services offered by Pax Financial Group, LLC.
Tune in to The Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at TSAOG.com. For 20 years, Smoky Moe's Barbecue has become a neighborhood favorite by serving up your favorite real pit smoked barbecue, brisket, turkey, sausage, and pork loin. This holiday season, try a Smoky Mo's whole smoked turkey, or make it a complete meal with a baked potato casserole and green bean casserole. Pre-order online at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com or at any of their 7 area locations. Smoky Mo's gift cards and sauce and spice gift bundles make great gifts. Online at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com. Those who know, eat at Smoky Mo's.
The Marion Brighton Holiday Auction and Raffle is here for the holidays. Shop for holiday gifts and buy raffle tickets to win big. Your grand prize is a choice between a 2020 Chevy Impala or Chevy Silverado pickup truck. Or you could win a $5,000 or $2,500 holiday shopping spree. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center and the children in our community. Go to brightonsa.org to purchase and see official rules for complete details. That's brightonsa.org.
The San Antonio Express News gives you access to the city, access to be in the know, access to be amazed, access to be better citizens, access creativity. The San Antonio Express News. Express your relief. Express your voice. San Antonio, be the first to know with the San Antonio Express News. Subscribe today at expressnews.com/subscribe. Get access with the San Antonio Express News by subscribing today at expressnews.com/subscribe.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
There's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party... Oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome back to the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. As always, on the go at ESPNSA.com. We've been getting a lot of comments on Facebook Live, but you can also call in if you have something to talk about sports-wise. The Kielbasa Bacon phone lines is 210-656-ESPN. That's 210-656-3776. Jill, we've been talking about the Spurs. They have a lot of money that's going to be available to them when it comes to the salary cap next year. They have to extend Derek White, but really next year they only have about 6 players on the roster for next year, and it's really not a lot of money compared to what the cap is. So next year, do you think the Spurs have the opportunity? Do you think they have a legitimate shot of landing a big-name free agent because they will have the money to do it?
I'm going to say yes, because of all the points you just mentioned. Do they have the money right now? No, they do not have the cap space right now, not after DeMar DeRozan opted in. So their potential to clear up cap space basically evaporated in the last 2 weeks. Next year, it's a little bit of a different story. And that obviously has to do with what happens moving forward with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. In my opinion, LA is no longer the player he used to be. Okay. And I know I'm not the only one that believes that. The Spurs need another star to lead their front court. Okay. They have the youngsters, Drew Eubanks and Jakob Poeltl. They just re-signed them today. They're still growing. There's still a lot of potential there, but we need a big star. So to answer your question, Michael, yes, the space is there. The money is there. The question is, who's it going to be?
I'm looking at the players that are available right now for next year. Giannis, come on, really? Like that's going to happen. LeBron, no. Kawhi, these are the top 15 players. Paul George, you know what? He played for Indiana. You know, he's a good player. He's probably maybe has enough with Kawhi. Rudy Gobert, no thank you. Victor Oladipo, wrong position. Drew Holiday, I think he just re-signed for a big amount.
Just re-signed in the big Bucks deal. He's going to Milwaukee.
Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, no thank you. Gordon Hayward just signed.
Gordon Hayward just signed with the Hornets. That would have been mine, Michael. I would say bring Gordon Hayward over, but he just took a huge pay increase going over to Charlotte.
Blake Griffin, oh my goodness. Mike Conley, Andre Drummond. These are some players that even though the Spurs have a lot of money, we're going to be looking at players like Lauri Markkanen or Otto Porter or somebody like that because I'm sure the Spurs will put feelers out to get some of these big-name players. But the Spurs have to do this organically. They have to do it through the draft, and that's kind of why I think the Spurs should have that upcoming season, where I wouldn't be upset if they made the lottery, because next year's lottery is supposed to be really, really, really strong. I'm reading stories saying somewhere between 7 to 10 potential All-Stars in that draft. That's what I would. So I'm not going to be mad if the Spurs don't make the playoffs this year. I'm a big enough of a fan to say that they should still compete, but I won't be mad at them, okay? Hey, coming up after this, we're going to have Jason Minix at Alamo Cycleplex. He's giving away the grand prize to our 20 Rock the Mic winner, who's named Quinn Hudson. It's fantastic, and thank you, Alamo Cycleplex, for sponsoring this contest. You're listening to ESPN San Antonio. This is The Blitz.
You do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday at 6, brought to you by Tri-County Meat Market.
Submit your favorite recipes and grilling pictures on ESPNSA.com for your chance to win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market's the Heavener location. We'll give you a winner every week.
So what are you grilling this weekend? Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday at 6, brought to you by Tri-County Meat Market. Submit your recipe and pictures now at ESPNSA.com for your chance to win.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Save up to $11,000 on construction equipment or get 0.99% APR financing for 72 months. Now through December 31st, 2020. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener Road, and online at tricountymeat.com.
We're those Aggies, official sponsor of the college football playoff, and we're here to say it's smooth, not to mention refreshing. Those great at tailgates, buy some now. DOSCQUIS, those Aggies, that spells beer.
For your next tailgate here in San Antonio, grab some ice-cold Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
America's Diamond has created a half-hour television program called Buying Diamonds Intelligently. You can see where diamonds are mined, how they're cut and polished, how they're graded, certified, and laser inscribed, and how our beautiful diamond jewelry is made. You can see the show tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or right now on the internet at americasdiamond.com. America's Diamond is the largest diamond engagement ring store in America. We design and create our extraordinary jewelry right here in San Antonio. Quality for quality, we guarantee that the everyday America's Diamond price is lower than any jewelry store's very best sale price, or we'll refund the difference plus 25%. America's Diamond was voted San Antonio's best jewelry store by San Antonio Magazine, The Current Magazine, and for more than 25 years in a row, winner of the Express News Reader's Choice Award. America's Diamond is the official jeweler of the San Antonio Spurs and of the University of Texas at San Antonio Athletics. See America's Diamond first, 561-1000.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
What are real people saying about Skechers Arch Fit footwear? Joe from Hilton Head says, I need arch support, and these shoes have it. Joe, Skechers Arch Fit don't just have arch support, they have podiatrist-certified arch support that was developed with over 20 years of data. Next, Pete from New York writes, great for walking. I stand a lot of work, and the Arch Fit keeps me comfortable. My feet don't feel tired at the end of the day. Okay, Pete gets it. He's walking, working, just living in Skechers Arch Fit.
KZDC San Antonio.
Hey, it's Carl Herbstreit, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio. At 94.5 FM,
where the pros play. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz on a great Tuesday afternoon, the week of Thanksgiving. I'm Jason Minix, technically on a day off, but that's okay because when we're doing big things at the radio station, day off, no day off, you show up for the big party. It's part of being in the radio business. Michael Jimenez and Jill Jilnick will be back on shortly with some great segments, but it is time to officially crown our Rock the Mic champion and present him with the great grand prize from Alamo Cycleplex. Quinn Hudson joining us now, our Rock the Mic champion. Is that your new motorcycle, my friend?
That's what it is right here. This is it right here. Now, I don't make a very good Vanna, but, you see what I'm saying right here?
Yeah, well, you definitely don't make a good Vanna. I mean, game show model is not in your future, but doing some really cool things with that motorcycle certainly is, man. That is awesome, man. Tell us a little about what you won there, Quinn.
I'm fortunate. I've got a Honda Grom, a 2020 Honda Grom is what I won. Alamo Cycleplex, and Dave is here with it, presenting it to me today.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it, and I'm going to have some fun with it for sure. Me and probably some other friends, too, are going to have some fun.
Well, talk to Dave a little bit about what you won and his participation in Rock the Mic.
Dave, first of all, we appreciate you being a sponsor of Rock the Mic. Certainly, I'm a beneficiary of it, but you being locally owned and operated for San Antonio, tell us a little bit more about what you got going on.
Yeah, so we're happy to be a part of it. We chose the Honda Grom for the giveaway this year. It's a nice 125cc little miniature sport bike, very popular in the local area, especially with UTSA right around the corner. Great commuter bike for the kids, just to get in and around town. So fabulous product. Of course, not only do we sell Honda, but we have Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, Polaris, Vanderhall. And we're excited to tell you all about that. But first, I know this was a stiff competition, and I'm standing next to the winner, so I feel like you're holding back. I need to see some of what you did to win. Showcase your skills for it.
Well, first and foremost, one of the things, I went out on a limb on a Sunday show that we have, Fantasy Gods, from 11 to 12 every Sunday. They do predictions on stats, weather, lines, on betting, all those different things for people who are sports enthusiasts. And so on Sunday, I went out on a limb. I made my two picks on a limb that picks that normally people don't pick. I picked the Cowboys over the Vikings. That's a little bit of a homer pick, but I felt they were actually going to win. Cowboy fans are smart enough to know we're rooting for them, but we don't always know that they're going to win. But I also picked the Rams over the Buccaneers last night. So for a parlay, those are two good big bets. We put it out on the line and put my statement behind it on why, and that's what makes it work.
Good. Well, congratulations. And my fantasy league stinks, so I need to call you for some help there. But no, we're happy to be a part of it. We love working with ESPN. Of course, this promotion just fell right in line, and it was an easy thing for us to do. We really encourage all the listeners. We do a lot with the community here locally through ESPN. We get them to promote it, whether we're doing a kids event or a bike ride or a slingshot ride or Vanderhall motorcycle at the youth track, at the ATV track, at the dirt track. So if you would, just follow us on Facebook. That's today's world. That's the easiest way to find out about all the events that we're doing, and we really push everything through there. And then with our social media ad content through ESPN, we do that as well. So please do that for us.
Absolutely. And Dave, speaking for ESPN San Antonio, we certainly do appreciate your support throughout the years. And obviously with this Rock the Mic competition, I see that motorcycle that Quinn's got there. And I think about last year's winner, Michael Jimenez, who's hosting this show today while Rob and I are on vacation. I look at that and I think Jimenez last year, I think, got a hat. And, we've done wings. I mean, we've really upped it. I mean, Jimenez might have had the longest running Rock the Mic championship because, we had to delay this year's competition for the obvious COVID reasons. So he's the longest running. But you go from a hat to a motorcycle, Quinn. I think you're coming out on top, my friend.
Hey, considering that it's 2020, this is all wins. This is all upside for sure. So I'm fortunate of it and appreciative of what ESPN SA has done for me, and certainly with Alamo Cycleplex. This is the icing on the cake. I mean, winning the competition in itself was great, but having something like this goes a little bit more than swag. Sorry, Mike.
It does. You'll get the swag too. That's the beauty. And I mean, look, dude, you're wearing a mask right now. I'm watching you on video. I can see you smiling from ear to ear, even through that mask, which is incredible. Again, thanks to everybody there at Alamo Cycleplex for being a part of Rock the Mic 2020. Hopefully, that's something that continues for years to come because we've upped the prize game. Not only do you get to do this, and Quinn, your first real thing, you get to interview Dave. Man, that's pretty awesome.
It works for me, man, and I appreciate it. And everybody's been great from the moment I came in here. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Quinn Hudson, our 2020 Rock the Mic champion. You heard him talking about his appearance on the Fantasy Gods with Mike Jimenez. Picking the Cowboys over the Vikings, that was a risky but safe bet. Going Rams over the Buccaneers, it's a shame you didn't put $100 on that. Otherwise, you'd be really set. But, that's part of the game, and that's part of it. I know you're going to be a part of the Fantasy Gods. A lot more coming up, especially with predictions like that if you stay consistent. I know Mike Jimenez has some fantasy talk coming up later on the Blitz, but he and Jill, when we come back, they're going to get into something that we all need help with. I mean, you think about Black Friday and buying gifts, which is always such a pain. Jimenez has the advantage of Jill to give you some good ideas, guys, on what should be on the Christmas list this year. That and more as we continue here on the Blitz. Congrats, Quinn. Thanks to everybody at Alamo Cycleplex. Jill and Michael, they'll be back next here on ESPN San Antonio.
Hey, we're both working toward a common goal. Quitting time! This is San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm with my brother, Jason, my lawyer. He's with the Thompson Law Firm. Now, Jason, I got a question for you. I see lawyer advertisements, billboards, TV. How do I choose a lawyer?
I see the exact same advertisements, and it would be tough, I think, if you don't have a relationship with an attorney deciding who to pick. I think the things that you need to think about are whether or not the law firm and the lawyer I hire will be my lawyer. And what I mean by that is not a face on a billboard, but never actually seeing that lawyer. I'm talking about hiring the lawyer that I want to represent me. And so when you come in, I am the one that meets you, and I will take you through every step of the process. I will handle the insurance companies. I will help you with your recovery. I will take you through that entire process, and knowing full well that that is my client, not just for today, but for the rest of their life.
Be smart. Protect yourself and your family. Call Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyer4us.com.
Due to overwhelming response last week, Diamonds Direct is continuing our annual pre-holiday store-wide sale all the way through Cyber Monday. That's right, you get an extra week to take advantage of extraordinary savings. Save 20% and more. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, designer fashion jewelry, colored gemstones, engagement and wedding rings. Case after case of amazing deals. It's our most popular event of the year, now extended through Cyber Monday for your convenience. We've asked our designer partners to send even more selection to accommodate the demand. We've received extensions on our aggressive financing options. We've thrown the rule book out the window to make this happen. It's Diamonds Direct's biggest and longest sale ever. We're talking better than typical Black Friday pricing store-wide on the most popular holiday gifts. In a year filled with surprises and changes, this is one you can celebrate. Get her the most memorable and most romantic holiday gift ever and save 20% and more off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable savings now through Cyber Monday at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
This football season, more than any other, we're all reflecting on the wonder years of football. And in celebrating the heart of America's favorite sport, we've got a bold snack that'll help rekindle some really great memories. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave, like Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Get them at H-E-B, because, hey, pigskins and pigskins, they go together. Visit porkrinds.com to see how you can win $5,000 when you celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day with
Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Unhappy at your job? You don't really have a career, you have a job, or maybe you're out of work altogether? Listen to me. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Sound too good to be true? Go to mycomputercareer.edu. Take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes. Meet just twice a week. Financial aid, including the GI Bill, is available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Stugatz here. Fall is here, so now's your chance to start up something new and delicious with fresh, seasonal ingredients and 5-star recipes. HelloFresh will help you create mouth-watering meals from your choice of over 22 chef-curated recipes each week, including low-calorie, veggie, and family-friendly options. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code Dan to get $80 off across 5 boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Don't wait. Start eating better meals today. HelloFresh.com, promo code Dan.
Welcome back to the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. As always, on the go at ESPNSA.com. What a segment. Jill, Jason Minix, and Alamo Cycleplex gave away a motorcycle to one of our listeners. That's amazing.
It's fantastic. And he also mentioned what you got as the winner of the Rock the Mic. What was that you won again?
I won a hat.
Oh, okay.
And I got 2 shots of Jim Beam.
Hey, okay. No complaints. No complaints there.
I love Jim Beam. But, man, comparing that to a motorcycle, and it's so funny because I told my wife, because my wife has said that I've mentioned this on air like 5 or 6 times. She goes, Michael, it's unbecoming. Just don't mention it anymore, okay? You have your own radio show. That was your ultimate prize, so okay.
There you go.
But the thing is that Quinn has done a very good job, and one of the interesting things about him winning was that this year I didn't really pay attention to who the contestants were or anything like that, but when I saw the Final Four revealed and I saw the name Quinn Hudson there, it was so exciting for me because he was actually a listener of the Fantasy Gods show that I co-host from 11 to noon on Sunday. So I was like, wow, he's in part of our listener league, and he did this. But Jill, I got to tell you, when I auditioned for Rock the Mic, and for those of you out there who have ever considered it, please do it. 2019, when I auditioned, I think there was north of 60 people who auditioned. And I kept on telling my wife, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And every year would pass and I didn't do it. And then finally, I'm driving home and from work and I hear Jason Minix's voice and it says, it's the last day to audition. Go to Slacker Sports Bar. And I'm on my way home and I just get off the access road. I turn around, I make my way over there and I go, okay, what do I do now? And they say, you need to do a 45-second to a minute long take. I was like, I don't know what to talk about. I said, but the good thing is there's a couple dozen people here. I'll see them do it, and I'll kind of get into it. And no, I was the second person called in.
There you go.
So I remember when I finished, James Pledger, who's our producer extraordinaire, he said, yeah, I've listened to worse. And I made the top. Worse. I made the top 12, made the top 6, made the top 4, and it was just one of those things where just wanted to make the next step. And it wasn't until I got to the final 4 that I thought to myself, kind of like at the end of A League of Their Own, when Gina Davis shows up. Gina Davis shows up for Game 7 of their World Series, and Tom Hanks is there going, We're gonna win. We're gonna win. But in the back of my mind, insecurity was Stillwell Angel going, You're gonna lose.
That's oh my gosh, what a great movie reference. I applaud you for that one.
So again 2019 Rock the Mic champion, audition me the 2021 because you're either going to win a motorcycle or a couple of shots of Jim Beam. Either way, I'll never bring up that story again. I am happy. Jason, Rob, Pledge, Dan, Brandon, RJ have all been fantastic to me. So I love them all. Jill Jelnick is with us from Sports Tonight and also from Yolo, Texas.
That's right.
I'm going to let you know something. I was telling my wife that I'm hosting a show with somebody named Jill. And she goes, "Who's Jill?" And I said, "Oh, she's from Yolo, Texas." And last night we were laying in bed and got my iPhone out and I started calling up some Yolo, Texas clips.
Yeah.
She goes, "I know her. I watched that show." Okay. So
there you go. Great.
So, fantastic, because me as an old man, I'm in my early 40s still, but I still think of myself as an old man. Back in the day, I used to watch a show, and it's still on, called Hill Country Texas Reporter.
Yeah,
I think they do a fantastic show. And I think that Yolo, Texas is very much a more modern, hip version of that show. It has its own flair, its own flavor, but it's different. It's unique. But I like the fact that you guys go all over the state. So, Jill, what have you enjoyed about your adventures over there?
You mean other than eating, drinking, traveling, and getting paid to do that? I mean, do I need to say anymore? No, it's honestly, Michael, it's been an absolute wonderful experience being a part of this show. I'm one of several co-hosts with our main host, Aaron Carreño, who has been with this show, the heart and soul of this show since day one. And I have to mention, Yolo, Texas is on its 4th season. So we've been doing this show for a very long time, and we picked the right state to do it in because it still feels like we have yet to, tackle or explore every corner, every spot of this wonderful Lone Star State. And I think that's what makes this show so fantastic, is that no matter where we go, we uncover these hidden gems, these small towns that have the best brisket, that have the best barbecue, the best food, or just wonderful festivals. I just got back a couple weeks ago from Winsboro, had a fantastic art and wine festival. They've been doing that for decades, and it's a wonderful thing that it's still building momentum, so not a lot of people know about it yet. And that's what our show strives to do, is showcase these wonderful places that, hey, if you're a Texan and you're looking to have a little fun, if you're looking to try some new food, watch our show. And I think especially with 2020, people are looking for opportunities to get out and be safe. And we uncover a lot of places that are absolutely beautiful. Del Rio. Aaron just got back from a 4-day trip from Del Rio. I just got back from McAllen. This past week, I was in Grapevine, beautiful Grapevine, exploring the Gaylord Texan, because in case you didn't know this, Michael, Grapevine is the Christmas capital of Texas, and they go all out. And I'm telling you this, visiting the Gaylord Texan and spending just one night there, wow, absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, the holiday spirit is just, you can't not feel it when you walk in that beautiful resort. So I've been very fortunate to be a part of this show in the 4th season. And if you guys are ever if anybody's looking for any great hidden gems when it comes to food, travel, or just fun, check out Yolo, Texas. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.
It's fantastic. I watched about 10 stories of it last night, because once you get into one, it's kind of like Property Brothers to me.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure. You watch one saying, I'm only going to watch this for 30 minutes, and then 4 hours later. So you guys have a great website, and then also your YouTube page. It's fantastic. You mentioned the Gaylord Texan. I was there last year. You go. They put on last year a Peanuts Charlie Brown inspired Christmas event, and this year they're doing the holiday movies, so they have like full on life-size sets of Christmas Vacation, of a Christmas Story, a lot of
Polar
these different
Express.
movies.
Yes, I got the chance to explore it. Polar Express, Christmas Vacation, which was fantastic. Also Elf. You get to sit inside Buddy the Elf's workshop. Fantastic.
Awesome. I really want to go, but Jill, not sure if I can go back. Something happened at the Gaylord Texan last year.
What?
Okay.
Now you have to explain.
What happened was, so my wife and I were talking about going over there, and we kept on saying that we were going to go, but something always got in the way. And finally, there was one night last year where she said, let's just do it. Let's just go tomorrow. So I said, okay. So I called the Gaylord Texan. I'm like, hey, I need a room. Me, my wife, my 3 kids. We want to do it all. We want to have the meal plans. We want to have the tickets to the events and all of that stuff, right? So they said, yes, sir. But because it's less than 24 hours away from check-in, you have to pay right now. And there's no backsies, okay? There's no turning back. We run your card right now, and that's that. I said, and I looked at my wife. I remember I held the phone, and I said, babe, we going to go do this? And she goes, book it. Great. I said, do it. Here's my number. Thank you, sir. We'll see you tomorrow. I go check in, had a fantastic 2 days, checked out, asked if I owed anything. They said no. They gave me my receipt. I was on my way home. It was a glorious 2 days there. And I'm 100 miles away driving home down 35, and I get a phone call from the hotel saying, Mr. Jimenez, can you drive back? We didn't charge you for your vacation. So, mind you, my tab was $1,500. It was $1,500. And what ended up happening was I said, look, I'm 100 miles away. I'm not turning back. That's like 3 hours out of my way to go do this. You have my credit card number. I'll give you my credit card number.
Yeah, this is 2020. I thought we could do that, right?
Just run it, right? So long story short, they said they couldn't do it. They wanted me to DocuSign something, something saying that I can authorize it or whatnot. I signed it. I gave them copies of my credit card front and back. I authorized it in person, over the phone, by email. They never charged me. I literally got a free vacation last year because they never charged me. So now my wife is getting all these things from the Gaylord Texans saying, Christmas movie, you could be
come on back.
You could be on the set of Elf and all that stuff. And she's like, we got to go do this, babe. And I said, yeah, I want to do it too. But I don't want to get arrested the moment I walk in the door.
Or them to be like, hey, by the way, now that we got you here in person, can we go ahead and charge you for that first vacation?
So I don't. Did I do wrong, Jill? I mean, I was 100 miles away. I gave them authorization over the phone, by email. I physically gave them my card. They just never swiped it.
No, that's 100% on them. The fact that you were able to get away with it, I'm just like, God, what are the chances of that? I don't blame you for hesitating going back there. It's almost like you're like, oh, am I going to get reprimanded? Is this going to be a danger zone for me?
I'm gonna open up a separate bank account in my wife's name only, and we're gonna use that credit card or that debit card. Use a different address. Use her mom's address or something.
Right.
Hey, speaking for Christmas, Christmas is coming around. It's kind of hard to feel that. It's like 5 weeks away, but it's 81 degrees today in San Antonio. It's just ridiculous. But right now, we've got people who are clamoring. They're going to go shopping on Black Friday. And right now, they're going to be looking for sports items, right? So opinion here, because oftentimes it's me, it's Minix, it's Rob, right?
Yeah, y'all could use a woman's opinion every now and then. We need a woman's opinion,
especially for women who are sports fans, because it's different. Guys can just buy, I'm wearing a Spurs t-shirt right now. We could buy whatever and be happy with it, but I need you to just go off on a tangent here. Tell me, for our girlfriends, our wives, how do we shop for you guys when it comes to sports apparel or sports anything?
No, that's a great question. I think you're starting from the right spot, Michael. Okay, you're asking yourself, okay, I know she's a Spurs fan. I know she's a Cowboys fan. How do I go from here? Or where do I go from here? And I'll tell you this, Spurs made it a lot easier on us this year because they rolled out their new Fiesta jerseys, and they showed Spurs tweeted out that beautiful shot of the court with the Fiesta colors, and Spurs fans, Spurs Nation went wild. So I think first and foremost, take advantage of Spurs Fiesta colors and their new jerseys. I haven't had the chance to look up anything specifically for women's apparel, but I can have every reason to believe that there's going to be some fun Fiesta stuff coming out very, very soon. And I think ask yourself, okay, do I see my wife? Do I see my girlfriend rocking Spurs stuff on game day? What does she wear on game day? Because a lot of it is about how cute can you look when you're either walking in an AT&T Center, right? Or how cute are you when you're going to the party or you're watching from home? I think if your wife or girlfriend is a little more on the comfy or casual side, then you're looking for a nice Spurs hoodie. You're looking for a nice, even not even Spurs, any team, right? You're looking for some sweats, some cute little, a cute little sweater or something, right? But if your partner, your significant other tends to go a little flashy, which I know a lot of my Spurs friends like the anything with diamonds, anything with sparkles. Hey, tumbler, Spurs tumbler, bedazzled tumbler, fan favorite. I love that. A cute jeans jacket with the Spurs on the back, a little bit of bling bling there. There's a lot that you can do that is different from just the standard Spurs store or Academy Sports. Go online. See what a couple of the online stores have that are a little bit different than what you've researched before. There's always a way to bling bling and bedazzle your gifts. That would be my advice.
That's fantastic advice. The fact of the matter is that we're lost. We're lost. My wife is having a milestone birthday in about a week and a half. We're going to New Orleans for the weekend. And,
okay, there you go.
Go do the voodoo the voodoo stuff, the tours, the little casinos, go look at alligators, all that type of stuff. But I really need to get her something good for her birthday. Like I said, it is a milestone. It ends in a 0. So it's
important. This one really, really is important.
Yeah, well, because I'm trying to figure out what kind of birthday party to throw her, because with COVID going on and whatnot. So kind of interesting there. But I'm gonna say, maybe I'll get her a video game system and see if she likes it or not. If not, I can use it. Hey, speaking of which, we were talking about yellow text a little while ago. I cannot believe I forgot this. Cannot believe I forgot this. As I mentioned, I went through a deep dive, kind of like with Spotify, where the next one played and the next one played and the next one played. There was a segment there talking about hidden talents.
I know where you're going with this, Michael.
Okay. So I'm not even going to ruin the surprise, because I'm going to put you on the spot to see if you can do it.
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, tell me how did this start? How did you practice for this? How long did it take you to get this experience? Tell me about this surprise, this thing that you have within you.
Yeah. So this is something that has quickly become my favorite bar trick, because there's nothing that I love more than going to a bar, watching a sports game, chatting up the guy next to me. He usually thinks that he knows more than me, and I love to be underestimated. And so I quickly redirect the conversation to baseball, and I bet a beer. And let's just say by the end of the night, I have won a couple free. I've had my tab paid for. So it started as actually a middle school project. We had to design our own continent, and I chose baseball continent, being the baseball and softball lover that I am. And I thought one day, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I just memorized all these baseball teams in alphabetical order? And in the 6th grade, I did. And Michael, that was so long ago, that was when the Expos were a team and the Nationals weren't a team. So I actually had to change my baseball memorization skill, whatever you want to call it. I call it my bar trick. But I memorized that way back when in the 6th grade, and it's gotten me a couple free beers since then. So there you go.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah. You going to count me down? Give me a 3, 2, 1?
So it's a 3, 2, 1. Basically, can she, within 10 seconds, name
10 seconds, yep.
Within 10 seconds, name all 30 baseball teams alphabetically. Okay, I'm going to count you down. 5, 4, 3. This was a bar trick she learned in 6th grade. 2, 1.
Angels, Astros, Legs, Blues, Braves, Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs, Devils, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Giants, Indians, Mariners, Marlins, Nets, Nationals, Padres, Phillies, Pirates, Rangers, Reds, Red Sox, Rockies, Royals, Tigers, Twins, Red Sox, Yankees.
Good enough for me. I noticed there the only one that you tripped off on was the Nationals.
Nationals. I still trip up over it.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I like I said, YOLO Texas is a show that she's a correspondent on. It's fantastic, and I'm not saying that because she's on. I actually did a deep dive. All the other reporters did a fantastic job.
You can vouch for it. Thank you.
Your story up in Lubbock.
Yeah.
For one of the hotels over there was really good. You did a story in Bandera, Texas about the Cowboys over there. The
Cowboy capital. Yes,
Texas.
sir.
So it's fantastic. So when we come back, we're going to get back more into sports, right? But we're going to talk more about fantasy sports. It's the last 2 weeks for most of us in the fantasy football season. So this is kind of make or break. Some of us have to win out. Some of us have already made the playoffs, but we're trying to position ourselves for that week 14 push. So we're going to have Brandon Medina, my fellow fantasy god, coming back, and we're going to be talking about that. And again, just to let you know, the show that we have is called The Fantasy Gods, which airs Sunday at 11 o'clock. It is sponsored by RDK Advisors. We'll be back. This is The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio.
The ESPN San Antonio High School Football Game of the Week, energized by Hill Electric.
Brought to you by Mom Needs a Break Cleaning.
And by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Every Friday night starting at 7.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
What are real people saying about Skechers Arch Fit footwear? Joe from Hilton Head says, I need arch support, and these shoes have it. Joe, Skechers Arch Fit don't just have arch support, they have podiatrist-certified arch support that was developed with over 20 years of data. Next, Pete from New York writes, great for walking. I stand a lot of work, and the Arch Fit keeps me comfortable. My feet don't feel tired at the end of the day. Okay, Pete gets it. He's walking, working, just living in Skechers Arch Fit. These shoes are great for virtually everybody. Find podiatrist-certified Skechers Arch Fit at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Video surveillance is a part of life. Everywhere you go, you're on video. Having video cameras at your house is for your safety and sense of security. Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my home is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, and other features are fantastic. If you are shopping for cameras this holiday season, don't buy cheap ones at the big box store. Call BSG at 210-877-1222. They are the Jedi experts, and make sure you are getting what you need. Whether it's a new camera system or you need to upgrade or add to what you have, BSG can help. For your aging parents, if you're concerned about their wellness, you can monitor them 24/7. Easy, affordable, and you get that peace of mind. At BSG, they offer free estimates, deferred payments up to 6 months, and in-house financing. Call BSG at 210-877-1222 or bsgtexas.com.
Oh, oh, oh.
Those Aggies, official sponsor of the college football playoff, and we're here to say it's smooth, not to mention refreshing. Those great tailgates, buy some now. DOSTQUIS, those Aggies, that spells beer.
For your next tailgate here in San Antonio, grab some ice-cold Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who refuse to let happy hour end without squeezing in one more round. The type of guys who would rather sweat from unspeakable places than stop eating the spiciest wings on the menu. And the men who still chuckle when they order their wings bone in. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Looking for a late night bite? Service industry employees receive 50% off handhelds and appetizers every day, 10 to close. Some exclusions apply.
Napa know-how.
Right now, get a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil and a platinum filter for just $22.98. They're an iconic duo like salt and pepper, a hammer and a nail, or the holidays and awkward hugs. You can't get one without the other. That's Napa full synthetic and a platinum filter for just $22.98. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales price does not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 12/31/20.
Geico presents Left Brain versus Right Brain.
You know, we should switch to Geico.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, buddy.
We could save hundreds of dollars a year on car insurance.
Ooh, with that kind of scratch, we can get the band back together for a reunion tour.
A, we were never in a band. B, Glenn let us play the tambourine on stage one time. And C, we will, however, put that savings towards a new interview suit.
Look what I found. Huh? Still got it.
Oh, no.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Welcome back. It's the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. As always, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Jill Jelnick has been with us the entire day. How are you doing, Jill?
Fantastic. Happy to be here.
We have someone else on here today. You may recognize him as my counterpart. The second, the first, the one, the 1A, either one. Wow. Hey, I said on the show, Brandon Medina's joining with us, a fellow fantasy god. I told him on the show Sunday, you may have, if you heard the show, that I was your 1A. You know, so I said that. I said, I take the passenger seat, you take the driver's seat, but this is the first time I've ever had you on the air where I'm driving the show. So, Brandon, welcome to the show. You're on the Blitz. How you doing, my man?
Absolutely, my man. You're the meme. You're driving the boat right now, so I'm excited to be on the show with you guys. As you can see, I have a beautiful picture of wine because I'm still dealing with that Minnesota Vikings loss to the Cowboys. I've been having to hear that from all the family, of course, the Dallas Cowboys cult that I live in, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun. You guys have been killing it. Jill, glad to finally virtually meet you. But yeah, you guys have been doing a great job.
Hey, so it is week 12 of the fantasy football season, and this is where it gets a little bit crazy because if you're going to make the playoffs, you got to make your moves now because a lot of sites, I think like even ESPN, has tomorrow as the deadline for trades.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of different things going on fantasy-wise. Brandon and I actually have a listener league for the Fantasy Gods. I texted him earlier today that right now there's a possibility there's 4 spots making the playoffs. Both fantasy gods right now are lined up. I'm in first place in my division. You're 1 game off in your division. But the way that it would stack up is that it's possible that you and I could both play each other in the Super Bowl. And if that happens, Jill, be our moral compass here. If that happens, all the prizes that have been given to us by Miller Lite,
that
have been given to us by Jim Beam, do we get to keep them?
No, you would give them to me because I'm the referee and I need to make sure you two don't kill each other. So that's how that would work.
We'll split it 3 ways. Just drinks all around.
There we go. I like that.
Very cool. Again, Fantasy Gods show airs Sunday mornings from 11 to noon. We're having a fantastic job with it. One of our listeners won Rock the Mic 2020. Congrats again to Quinn Hudson. So, because it's a big fantasy football week, we have a lot going on today. And we have 3 games that are going on. Brandon, right now, when it comes to fantasy football, when it comes to how you're handling your league right now, are you doing things week to week? Or are you doing things more on a long-term basis now because we're so close to the playoffs?
And it's a great question, Mike, and I think it depends where you're at, right? I mean, you always talk about knowing your league, knowing the type of players in your league, knowing your system, your playoff schedule, everything like that. Obviously, at the end of the day, you know, it's a fantasy game, but a lot of us, we take it serious. We have fun with it. It's something that keeps us entertained, keeps us in depth with the game. So I think it definitely depends. Where me and you, I think, are very similar, as I'm sure Jill and anybody else who, you know, is in sports media, is we usually get the early tip-offs of good news, so we get to change our fantasy lineups accordingly. And that's why we were able to play, you know, Taysom Hill at tight end for the week, and we were able to get the cheat codes. So I think that type of stuff is week to week. Now, however, what you mentioned is huge, and it's It's the trade deadline for most leagues is tomorrow. If you're looking to make trades, if you're weak at tight end, if you're weak at quarterback, at running back, at whatever the case, it's coming down to the wire. And not to be dramatic, but you need to be going in there making phone calls and making texts and making sure people know that, players are up on the block or what players you're targeting to make sure you make a deep run in those playoffs.
Yeah, send your questions to us on Facebook Live. You can also call the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines at 656-ESPN. Again, that's 656-3776. Jill, when it comes to fantasy football, what is your strategy down the stretch? How are you doing in your leagues, and how are you strategizing the rest of the way?
So I'm a big fantasy football fan. And I think what I did differently this year than I have in years past is I made sure, or it kind of worked out, I picked my draft selection I was picking fifth in one league and then like last in the other league. So it worked out that the two leagues, I am on opposite ends. I am undefeated in one and I am struggling in the other. And, it's been a fun experience because I've picked similar teams in the past where I have similar players, or, I'm gung-ho on this quarterback and I have him in both leagues. And honestly, I think I've had a little bit more fun having just two completely different teams. But again, to answer your question down the stretch, it really does depend, just like Brandon said, what you have. So I'm taking a little more risk in the league that I'm struggling in, right? Because I have nothing to lose. I'm literally on the cusp of making the playoffs. And then the other league that I'm winning, I'm playing it safe. Especially with COVID, especially with these games that right? We just got an alert that today, Ravens practice facility, who knows what's going to happen? Some question marks surrounding their game on Thanksgiving. So I think if you have the luxury to play it safe and you've been consistent with those players, don't take any risk. Whereas, hey, in the last 2 weeks, if you're struggling, it might be that risky move that could make the biggest difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think for me, I'm struggling in one league. I'm in 6 leagues.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
out of my mind.
Yikes.
Obviously, like Mike, of course, my pregnant fiance absolutely hates it, is over it, is she's asking when it's going to be done. And I'm like, we're only just begun. We've only just begun. The playoffs are coming.
Oh, so bless her heart.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's fantasy football talk for her Monday through Saturday, and then fantasy football talk with Mike Sunday morning. So it's a perfect mix. But yeah, I mean, for me, you're completely correct. I made 3 trades over the past week in that one league I'm struggling in. I have been constantly picking up, dropping. I've had 6 running backs either go on IR or been out for multiple weeks. So I am just sitting on a prayer, hoping for the best. But in that league, whoever comes in last has to do almost like a straight up draft, basically like do their 40, do a whole combine. So last place is gonna have to be doing a whole combine and stuff.
Wow.
So basically the trophy's gonna have the first place winner and then the last place combine score, which is gonna be exciting. So that's gonna be fun to do. But I'm definitely not trying to get last place. I never have, never will. And in our listener league, it was a perfect welcome to Quinn, who obviously won, Rock the Mic when I beat him by 90 points. It was a perfect welcome to ESPN San Antonio. So that was great.
But his Cowboys beat your Vikings.
Right. Listen, let's not talk old news. Let's not talk old news, but we're moving forward,
Hey, so talking about moving forward, by the way, I'm in 3 leagues, first place in 2 of them, leading scorer in 2 of them, and then I'm in your league, Brandon, which I got auto-drafted early on.
You did.
And
you took Saquon.
I never would have taken Saquon. I would have taken Dalvin. And right now in that league, I have the worst defense, I guess you can say, in the sense that everyone who blows up and has the highest point total plays me. But 2 leagues on the highest point total. So that's really good. Hey, some fantasy football news. Got some injuries from this past week. Joe Burrow. He is out for the year, might be out for a lot longer. That was really, really ugly.
That was rough.
Rex Burkhead, we were just talking about him on the Fantasy Gods this past Sunday. He is fantastic. He is out with the torn ACL. There's some people who are coming back from injury. Raheem Mostert from the 49ers is coming back. Austin Eckler is also being brought back from IR. Don't know how much run he's going to get. But, look at the people who've been backing him up, who've been getting points. Eckler coming back, what is that going to do? Christian McCaffrey is now listed as week to week. So, I mean, I guess we have to play him, right? If he is back, we have to play him.
I think McCaffrey is the one that we're the most excited about. I think he's the one that's not coming off of necessarily an awful injury. He looked incredible in his one-game bounce back. Austin Eckler on social media looks like the Hulk. He looks crazy. He's been doing some amazing workouts. And like you said, every single running back the Chargers have put out there has got fantasy value. Austin Eckler will be no different. So I think that's going to be the big one to definitely keep an eye on. Raheem Mostert, I'm nervous about, but I think all three of those guys will be fantasy relevant and ready for the playoffs.
I got a question for Jill here. Taking a look at the top 5 performers for Week 11.
Ooh.
Okay, so we had Deshaun Watson. Okay, he's a stud of a player. We had Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Taysom Hill, Kirk Cousins. From running backs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was tops. He came out of nowhere. He, started hot the first couple of weeks and then just disappeared. Now he's back. Zeke finally had a good game. J.K. Dobbins. My question for you, Jill, is when it comes to the playoffs, do you want to ride the hot hand, or are you going to play the better player?
Oh, isn't that the $1 million question when it comes to the playoffs? If the hot player also includes the hot team, right? I'm leaning towards momentum. I think momentum is deadly in the playoffs, or just as a team as a whole. But I would also argue, Michael, there's something to be said about consistency, right? You have a hot player and he's been good the last 2 games, but you have your consistent rock. Playoffs. That's tough. Brandon, what would you do?
Yeah, for me, I made a super difficult decision in one league. I benched Michael Thomas for Deontay Johnson.
Oh, wow.
Now that panned out for me, but I've been big on Deontay Johnson since the get-go, Mike, which you know. But the thing is, he's a boom-bust guy where sometimes he gets hurt. He seems very fragile. However, he's targeted a lot. Me and you have talked that he might be the number 1 over there in Pittsburgh. Michael Thomas has the big name. I drafted Michael Thomas as my first pick in 4 out of 6 leagues. I traded him in 2 out of the 4 already. Yeah. So there's trade value there as we come up to the deadline. The only thing is, like we keep saying, what do you have? Do you have a Tyler Boyd? Do you have a Justin Jefferson? Do you have a Robert Woods, a Cooper Kupp? Somebody that can fill that void? If you don't, Michael Thomas is going to be the guy to hold on to. But if you do, some of those big names can be great value for a top QB, a top running back. And then when it comes to tight ends, Michael, do not make any trades unless you're trading for Travis Kelce. I think the tight ends, there's a huge drop-off. So with tight end, like most years, we've seen multiple tight ends can be beneficial. However, Travis Kelce is the guy. And besides that, it's Taysom Hill for 1 week and then everybody else.
else.
So I definitely think I agree with you, Joe. I think I ride the hot hand and the hot team. However, I'm very big on matchup base. Look at those ESPN matchups. They're facing the Falcons. They're going to get thrown on no problem. If they're facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, you should bench your running backs. I mean, it's the common thing where if we're already 11, 12 weeks through and those defenses are staying where they're ranked, they're probably the real deal.
We have a quick Facebook comment from Quinn Hudson, our 2020 Rock the Mic champion.
Good
he says,
Quinn.
add Brandon 90 points. Ouch.
Listen.
Very ouch.
It happens to all the best of us, Quinn. It happens to the best of us.
I don't ride the hot hand. I play the best players. That's what I do. I'm kind of nervous about Taysom Hill, who's no longer going to be able to be used as a tight end in the ESPN league. So we're going to have another football segment coming up right after this. What I want to ask you guys is, so I need you guys to think about this, and I want the listeners to think about this too. There are 12 teams who are going to make the NFL playoffs this year. Legitimately, how many of them do you think have a chance at making the Super Bowl? We're going to talk about that. And at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a phone interview with Dr. Thomas DeBarardino from TSAOG Orthopedics. We're going to be talking about some of these injuries from NFL players, how it can pertain possibly to you if you have a particular injury. You're listening to The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, your home for the holidays.
Dallas Cowboys football is on ESPN San Antonio and 102.7 Jack FM.
Zeke Elliott walked all the dogs.
Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, New Bricks Mobile Brake Repair, Alamo Water Softeners, Ewald Kubota, The Root Pump, and the Angry Elephant.
As you get ready to fire up the grill and you're looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days, then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You see, at Kielbasa, they make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They never add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then Kielbasa sausage is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when he started the company right here in San Antonio. And Kielbasa, a great local company, everything they make is still made here in town over there off of South Brazos Street. At Kielbasa, they are on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meat. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic sausage you will ever eat. If it's not, just call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. Get into H-E-B and get yourself some of that great Kielbasa sausage today. Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Message and data rates may apply. Up to 5 messages a month. No guarantee of credit score increase. TNC and privacy policy found at possiblefinance.com/privacy.
I screwed up my credit when I was younger.
I often find myself scraping by right before rent is due.
If you need cash or are looking to rebuild credit, Possible Finance can loan you up to $500 in minutes. Good credit not required. Just text LOAN to 64,000 to download the Possible Finance app.
Within an hour of applying, there was money on my debit card. Where else are you going to get money at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night?
Repay the loan in installments and change your payment date with no fee.
For someone who's building credit, this is the best. My credit score went up after the first 2 payments.
I had trouble paying, so I moved my payment 2 weeks later without hurting my score. It helped big time.
Just text LOAN to 64,000 to download the Possible Finance app and get the money you need in minutes. Text LOAN to 64,000 to download Possible Finance. Text LOAN to 64,000.
Stu Gatz here. Like you, I have a family and a mortgage, and I protect the ones I love with life insurance. Think you can't afford it? Chances are SelectQuote can help you get it for less than $1 a day. SelectQuote comparison shops up to 10 highly rated companies, including Prudential, Banner Life, and Mutual of Omaha, and others, to find you the company with the best rates. For example, SelectQuote could find a 35-year-old man a $500,000 policy for under $19 a month. That's less than $1 a day. SelectQuote's breakthrough technology allows them to quickly match you with the best insurance company to find you your best policy. Plus, quotes are free. Start protecting your family today. Go to GetSelectQuote.com. That's GetSelectQuote.com. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Welcome back to the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. You can always give us a call on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines at 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. Rob and Jason are out for the day, so I'm babysitting today. Babysitting myself because I'm new at this. But training wheels have been coming off, and they're letting me do more and more over here. The joys of being Rock the Mic champion 2019. I'm here with Brandon, Big Poppy Medina.
Yes, sir.
Who's a fellow fantasy god, and Jill Jelnick from Sports Tonight and YOLO, Texas. We've got a quick segment here, okay? 12 teams are going to make the Super Bowl or make the playoffs in the NFL. One of them, unfortunately, will be from the NFC East. That being said, if you take a look at the standings right now you have Pittsburgh 10-0, KC 9-1, got 4 teams below that at 7-3. In the NFC, you've got 8-2, the Saints. You've got a few teams at 7-3, being the Rams, Green Bay, and Seattle. Tampa Bay at 7-4. And you're probably going to have a 6 or 7 win team from the NFC East make the playoffs. Legitimately, who do you think are the Super Bowl contenders this year?
It's a good question. I mean, like you said, you have to look at the weaker divisions versus the stronger ones. And I think right now I'm looking at the NFC West. 2 teams come out of the NFC West. I like the Seahawks. I like the Cardinals. I like the way the Cardinals have been trending with Kyler Murray. I love him. And also Cliff Kingsbury. Shout out to the New Braunfels native. And so I like both of them along with the Packers, Saints, and Chiefs. Those 3, you can't count them out because of how strong their quarterbacks are. Yes, Drew Brees is still recovering, is still working his way back, but the way they are running that NFC South, I could see them making a push towards the end. So my magic number, Michael, is 7. Okay, you got Steelers, Packers, Saints, Chiefs. I'm going to go two teams from NFC West, Seahawks and Cardinals, and I'm going to go AFC South, Titans and Colts. I like both of them. I can see those 2 teams making a push in the end.
Brandon, quickly, who do you got as potential Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cliff Kingsbury myself, obviously being a Texas Tech grad. So definitely I'm a big fan of the Cardinals. I'm a big fan of the Seahawks. Anybody in that NFC West could take it. I think the Rams are a really good team as well. But Pittsburgh looks strong. KC looks strong, of course. So I think those are the 2 big ones that stand out. But for me, I love anybody in that NFC West, whether it be the Seahawks, the Cardinals, or the Rams.
One of my favorite stats that I heard today, since 2000, there have been 8 teams to start the season 10-0. How many of them have won the Super Bowl?
Ooh.
1.
1? Oh, wow. That is a good stat.
The New Orleans Saints in 2009. Here's the thing. I think Pittsburgh's a contender. Obviously, KC, Indy, the Rams. And that's basically it for me. I think the Rams are coming out of the NFC. They've got a defense. Running and defense wins championships. They got the defensive side. They got one of the best defenses. They run by committee, so they're not that good at that. But I just think defensively they're good. Taysom Hill, do not trust. They're my favorite team. Do not trust them. Hey, when we come back, we're going to have Dr. Thomas DeBarardino from TSAOG Orthopedics talking to us about injuries. Get the latest and greatest when it comes to that. You're listening to The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, your home for the holidays.
There's a special fantasy guides to get you ready for the Thanksgiving weekend. Tune in tomorrow from 4 to 5. The Fantasy Gods is brought to you by RDK Advisors, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Every Thursday night at 7, after the Blitz, ESPN San Antonio brings you Down for the Count, the premier wrestling and sports entertainment talk show, featuring news and interviews from WWE, NXT, and AEW. Down for the Count, only on ESPN San Antonio.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who chase their shot of whiskey with another shot of whiskey. The type of guys who can watch a 90-minute match but fall asleep in the first 10 of every chick flick. And the men who celebrate a Tuesday night like they have the next day off. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Do you love fall off the bone flavor? Try a Twin Peaks signature smoked menu item, like the Carolina pulled pork sandwich or sweet and smoky ribs.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get 20% off 3 or more items with the $4.99 Napa Tool Bag. Yep, 20% off power tools, 20% off wipers, 20% off oil, and more. It's a whole bag of tricks. Well, actually, it's one trick over and over again, but it's a good one, saving you 20% on 3 or more items. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/20.
been a hell of a year, San Antonio. I'm Chip Ingram, and my bars, the Brew Pub and Angry Elephant, have been closed more than they've been open, and I didn't see that coming. Fortunately, things are getting better. 281 North is open, and football is finally here. Our kitchen is open every day till 2 a.m., and we open for happy hour at 11 a.m. And you know, as our customers say, our food is pretty darn good. So this is me asking you to help a local guy and his staff get back on our feet. Come see us at the Brew Pub and Angry Elephant at 281 North and Redland Road.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
What does my family think about stiff and uncomfortable shoes?
Ew.
That's gonna be a no from me.
Forget about it.
And that's why we wear Skechers Stretch Fit shoes. Because Skechers Stretch Fit are made from a breathable, soft knit that stretches and moves with you, giving you a comfortable, perfect fit with every step. And not only do Stretch Fit comfortably hug your feet, but they also have Skechers' famous air-cooled memory foam. Plus, they're machine washable and they're affordable. Find styles for men, women, and kids at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever styles.
This is Ryan Tannehill. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. As always, on the go on ESPNSA.com. Jason and Rob are out today, so I'm substitute teacher Michael Jimenez, 2019 Rock the Mic champion, the former champion because I got my reign ended last week. Joined by Jill Jelnick, who is with YOLO Texas and Sports Tonight. And if you were listening the last half hour, she can rattle off all 30 Major League Baseball teams in alphabetical order in 10 seconds or less, which was amazing. So if you didn't hear that, you can go on to ESPN San Antonio's Audio Vault. Go to around 5:30 or an hour and a half
5:30.
And you'll be able to hear her magic. It was amazing. She called it a bar. She called it a bar trick that somehow.
I was just gonna say you could also just meet me at down the street of the bar or whatever. buy me a drink.
Very nice. So, hey, right now we're joined by Dr. Thomas DeBarardino from TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Thomas, how are you doing today?
How are you guys doing? I'm doing great. Just walked out of the OR. Back home now. Listening to you guys on the way home.
Nice.
Hey, well, welcome. I've got to meet you one time before on air, but it's been a long time. This is an interesting part of the show because you mentioned you're getting out of surgery. That's amazing because what you guys do in helping to heal people is just so phenomenal. My brother-in-law is a doctor as well as an anesthesiologist, always in surgeries as well. So, big ups to everything that you guys do. So I was reading an article just earlier today. There were a couple of injuries over the past weekend. Rex Burkhead tore his ACL. He was playing so well for the New England Patriots, and I saw a stat that said this is the 33rd torn ACL for the year. The NFL season, because of COVID, did not have a regular season, right? It did not have a regular training camp, had 0 preseason games. Do you think that any of that had anything to do with the fact that there are 33 torn ACLs, or is this just something that happens?
Talking to having covered semi-professional, professional football in the past, it's all about every level of athlete. It's about that uptick in training and that acceleration phase. And they condensed the whole, get ready to play program, if you will, this year. Like you said, they didn't get that necessary, quantum of time. That it was all condensed into a couple weeks, literally. So I think that inevitably has something to do with it. The body, even a professional athlete, needs time to compensate and adjust, and you can't fool Mother Nature is the, strange fact of life, I guess. And they're paying the price. I mean, it wasn't unexpected. In the quiet circles of sports medicine and sideline coverage, people have been talking about it in some of the webinars I've been on, and a lot of my friends are some of the team physicians for these professional teams, and they kind of expected it, but they didn't think it would be as bad as it is already just a couple weeks in now.
And I don't know if it seems like there's been so many big names as well that have gone down. I mean, obviously with Cowboys fans, Dak Prescott and his compound right ankle fracture, comes to mind right away. But I think Michael mentioned this past weekend's injuries, most notable to a lot of people in the NFL, Joe Burrow, rookie quarterback for the Bengals, tore his ACL, MCL, and then I also saw another report that he suffered other structural issues in his knee. As a quarterback, or actually forget the fact that he's a quarterback, just as a player and human being, how awful is it, the fact that it's not just this ACL, it's not just this MCL. For lack of a better phrase, excuse me, but does it get much worse than that?
So he's already deemed he's in that category of not an isolated ligament injury like an ACL tear. That's bad enough. We see that 33 times. He's a multi-lig injury. He's
right.
Closer, if you're lumping and splitting, he's in the category of a multi-lig injury, which is always worse. Just statistically, the Vegas odds on him getting back, unrelenting full activity at the same level isn't great, to be frank. I mean, it's good because he's who he is, and he's going to have the best in the world at his beck and call working on him, and mostly in the rehab phase. But it's, just factually, ACL, MCL, and probably meniscus and cartilage damage is the other damage that they're talking about indirectly is not a good thing. We have an adage in the sports world and in knees in general, so goes the meniscus, so goes the knee. So if your meniscus gets shredded in an injury, it's a hard one to come back to. It's like driving your car without a strut.
Oh.
Another big injury to a quarterback was Drew Brees a week and a half ago. Man, so the news was that he broke 5 ribs, and that was what was told early on. And then there's a second evaluation showing that he actually broke 11. I got 2 questions for you. One question is why do you think that was not caught the first time? And the second thing is, he's going to be 42 years old next year when the season starts. Do you think that we've seen the last of Drew Brees? Is that something that could be career-ending, what he's going through right now?
It actually could be, and it depends on, the 11 fractures. We never know until you actually see an x-ray, but some of them could be not compound open, but like segmental fractures, like a Tootsie Roll, a break off a section. Didn't break in half, but it broke in 2 parts each rib. And they're counting them on the second analysis as 2 fractures. It's really, 5 ribs were fractured multiple times. So there's but it is the worst case scenario. A cracked rib you'll heal from. You can't breathe very well, or, you're breathing like a small bird for a couple of weeks until you can, get a solid union at the fracture site at 6 weeks. But when you have floating segments of fracture fragments, it's really hard to heal those normally, so that you don't have chronic pain all around your pleura. And when you're not if you can't breathe deep, you can't play football really good. So I'm with you. It's going to be a tough hill to climb for him.
It was nice to see him on the sidelines. We're talking to Dr. Thomas DeBarardino from TSAOG Orthopedics. It's Thanksgiving week, a couple of days. We're all going to be getting stuffed on turkey. And I know a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be taking parts in 5Ks, either in person or virtually, simply because they don't want to have the guilt of what they're going to eat that day. But for a lot of people, they're going to be going out there maybe for the first time in a while. What kind of advice would you give these, not so normal runners? I guess they don't do it so often. So what kind of advice would you give them on Thursday?
The turkey trotters. What advice would you give the turkey trotters?
Yeah, flag football players. That's the biggest mistake, especially if it's old versus young. Forget about it. So stress. And I think anticipating not doing a lot the next day, because that delayed onset of muscle soreness that hits us all at 48 to 72 hours is crushing. A hamstring cramps, calf muscle cramps. In the middle of the night, you wake up and you think somebody put a C-clamp on your thigh, and people know what we're talking about when you get a cramp. So stretching, preemptively taking some anti-inflammatories if you're allowed to, if your physician says it's okay and you otherwise do when you need to. But the preemptive strike, you're going to overdo it. You're going to pay the price. A little bit of, over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medication goes a long way.
And that's before or after the run?
Before, get your blood level up a little bit and it's a preemptive strike. If you're prone to migraines and you got a heavy day of intense computer work, people often are told to preemptively take some medication that would, mitigate the swelling and the inflammation and the soreness of it all. So there's nothing wrong with that. Just take it a little bit, just to get a little blood level up, and then to stretch a lot. Stretching's key.
There you go.
They say I don't have time, but stretching is critical. That calf stretch, that hamstring stretch where you put your heel to your butt and stretch and lean forward and, bend down and touch your toes, pretend you're tying your shoes. It's hard, but if you don't do it, you can get a hamstring tear, and we read about them and talk about them all the time on this show. But if you get one and you don't have an NFL trainer at your beck and call, you're going to be walking to work in pain on Monday. You're going to be waddling in like a three-legged turtle.
Do you see an uptick in injuries because of Thanksgiving at all, or is it just a normal day?
It's interesting in this whole COVID stay-at-home kind of period we've been in forever. We've seen an uptick in these kind of injuries. People going out trying to do things they usually don't have time to do, maybe. And we see it around the holidays for sure. It might get blurred this year because people have been at home trying all these things, and we've seen a fair amount of these injuries over the summer months when people are usually staying inside, but they're so sick of being inside and being away from people, they ventured outside into the parks and open areas, and they've hurt themselves.
It's a little bit crazy. You mentioned getting a little bit older, certain injuries that happen once you reach a certain age. I told Jill earlier offline, I said, you're going to reach the age one day when you use the phrase, I got to get up and stretch my legs. And this morning I was kind of just working, and I said, I'm getting a little stiff here. I'm going to go for a walk or go do something. I walked for a couple of miles just to kind of stretch my legs. But I do have a question about me. It's kind of a personal issue that I have going on.
Let's get to me.
Yes. Enough about me. What do you think about me? I rolled my ankle pretty bad back in like August or July or August or so. And I don't think it was broken, but it took a long time to heal. But for some reason right now, like I play tennis and I play pretty frequently and I'm pretty competitive with it. I can move north to south very well, but east to west is just not happening. And it seems like every third step I go down the stairs, I feel a pop. What's going on with me?
So you had the classic, Michael, an inversion injury. You rolled your ankle. You may have just misstepped and rolled, and you strained or tore your anterior talofibular ligament, the main ligament we all sprain mildly. You moderately or severely sprained it, I would say. So you, just from your history alone in the timeline, you've had a grade 2 or even a grade 3 sprain that you've kind of tried to work your way through. But it sounds like you do have some residual swelling and catching pain. It could be scar tissue, or the part of the ligament that tore could flip in and out of the joint space, which is really tight. There's no extra space. So if something flips in there, it's like having a packing peanut in your shoe. It stops you in your tracks.
And this is something that we can go to you guys to kind of help out with our injuries and things like that, help with the rehab of it all?
Oh, absolutely. We even have a Saturday clinic. I'm running it this Saturday because I think it's going to be Camp Chaos because we're closed Friday. So Saturday could be like, Katie bar the door for people walking in for injuries sustained during, turkey flag football games and whatnot, and the turkey trots that we talked about. So we're going to open doors all day Saturday just for that reason.
Well, bless you. Well, bless you, because I don't know much about any of this, and I probably will need to go get that help from you guys. You said the term scar tissue, and I was thinking of Red Hot Chili Peppers song by that name. So anyway, Dr. Thomas DeBarardino, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be coming back and talking more Spurs. Okay, so we've talked a little bit today about how the Spurs are going to have a lot of money to spend next year, 2021. We're all excited about this year, but next year is all going to be about free agency. We're going to have our wish list of who that money should be spent on. And also, the holidays are a season of giving, and we're giving you the chance to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2021. Head over to ESPNSA.com to enter today. You're listening to The Blitz, your home for the holidays.
Follow your favorite San Antonio area high school on 210varsity.com. Instant scores anytime on any device. Upload photos and videos from the action on your school's page. Click on 210varsity.com. Powered by Hill Electric, MomNeedsABreakCleaning.com, and ESPN San Antonio.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons, especially this time of year. If you get arrested or you get a phone call from a friend or a family member that they've been arrested and they want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number, or go to the website mybestbailbonds.com. You can start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121.
The San Antonio Express News gives you access to the city, access to be in the know, access to be amazed, access to be better citizens, access creativity. The San Antonio Express News. Express your relief. Express your voice. San Antonio, be the first to know with the San Antonio Express News. Subscribe today at expressnews.com/subscribe. Get access with the San Antonio Express News by subscribing today at expressnews.com/subscribe.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Do you have a retirement plan? No matter your age or how close you are, you need a plan to make sure you don't run out of money. Hi, this is Daryl Lyons from Pax Financial Group. We have the experience and tools to crunch your retirement numbers and get the answers you need. If you have a plan, let us double check your numbers. Call us at 210-881-5700. That's 210-881-5700 or online at PaxFinancialGroup.com.
Investment advisory and insurance services are offered by Pax Financial Group.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned family-run business by the Townsends. You know I've had a water softener in my home for years. Had one in the old house. Obviously, I have one in the new house. In fact, it was the first thing I had installed when I moved into this new house was the new system from Alamo Water Softeners. Now, if you're an existing Alamo Water Softeners customer, take advantage of their Black Friday specials. 50% off Pioneer whole home filtration systems. It is the next level of filtration when you mention ESPN San Antonio, and $49.99 for a complete inspection and tune-up of your Alamo water softener system. Now, if you don't have an Alamo water softener, you need one. In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country, and I can tell you firsthand, when you get one, you are going to love it. My daughter, who's home from college, is thrilled to be taking a shower with Alamo water softeners, giving her that soft water. Get yours. AlamoWaterSofteners.com is the website. AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
Welcome back to the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. My name is Michael Jimenez. I host the Fantasy Gods on Sundays from 11 to noon, where we talk about all things fantasy football. I'm here with Jill Jelnick from Sports Tonight and YOLO TV, a fantastic TV show.
Thank you.
We're taking our relationship to the next level because during the commercial break, we started following each other on Instagram. Started following each other on Twitter.
Social media platforms, check.
That's a different level of friendship. So here's the thing. I tweeted something the night of the NBA draft that I was kind of upset about. I was upset about that all these Spurs fans were upset that we didn't trade up to the number 2 spot. We didn't trade up to get Denny. We didn't trade up to do this, that, or the other. We kept LaMarcus. We've kept DeMar. And all of these things. And, oh, by the way, we just happened to get a really solid player in Devin Vassell, right? But this is what I tweeted that night. I said, not sure why Spurs Twitter is all ticked off. Spurs got a solid player. Here are Devin Vassell's final mock draft rankings. Keep in mind the Spurs drafted 11. The Ringer had him going at number 6. Yahoo Sports at 8. The Bleacher Report at 8. Sports Illustrated at 8. Fox Sports at 10. CBS Sports at 11. And ESPN at 11. And the Spurs got him at 11. We got a really good player. And then our second rounder in Trey Jones, some consider to be one of the steals of the second round. Jill, should people just settle down now? So Spurs fans just settle down?
Yes, they should. And they also shouldn't be surprised, Michael. I mean, come on. When have the Spurs ever done anything flashy in their franchise's existence? Never, okay? And general manager Brian Wright said it himself. A week going into the draft, remember when we were hearing a lot of Spurs rumors? There was a lot of talk. Okay, Spurs may, get creative. They may trade up. That's because they were entertaining all options. General manager Brian Wright said that himself in the press conference following the draft. He said nothing was off the table. But each day leading up to that draft, the Spurs slowly crossed off options. Okay, so what is the best move moving forward? And he also said that when the 11th pick came and Devin Vassell was right there, they didn't need to do anything flashy because it was a fantastic pick. To your point, a lot of mock drafts had Vassell going a lot earlier. He's a Florida State elite defender. He's a wing, but with size. So he could help the Spurs in a number of different ways, more than just being a typical wing. It's a great pick, especially at the number 11 spot. Spurs fans, if you don't believe us now, just give us a month and you're going to see what Devin Vassell can do. But I think right now, to your point, Michael, there are a lot of question marks surrounding this team. And that's okay because we're at a very weird time, right? Where training camp, they're returning to camp at the start of December and season's supposed to start up the week of Christmas. It's weird. This is uncharted territory. And so that's okay if there's a little bit of hesitancy.
When I look at Devin, he can lock down the 1, he can lock down the 2, lock down the 3, and keep up with the 4. And because of that, he's going to take somebody's time.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not going to take Derek White's time. DeJounte's a really good defender, and he should show flashes of what he was in his first year.
Yeah.
Now being so far away from that injury.
Whose time is he going to take, though?
Lonnie Walker. That's what
maybe Keldon Johnson. Yeah.
That's what I fear. I think Keldon will be fine simply because he's also a decent defender, but offensively he's there. I'm a big fan of Lonnie Walker, both as an athlete and personally, he seems like a really good young man. He is a Spur personified player, right?
Yeah.
But he's a little erratic offensively, and there's so many 2s and 3s and 1s that we have, and one of the names I want to call up and have this discussion about is Patty Mills.
Yeah, we haven't talked about him.
Patty Mills. He's been with the Spurs for so long. I think borderline up in the rafters.
Wow. Okay, now you might be a little biased on that one, Michael.
I said borderline. Okay.
Borderline. Okay.
First of all, if Bruce Bowen's up there, and Bowen was fantastic, Patty is just as important in many ways. Stability, leadership. I'm not saying because he was a future Hall of Famer that he should be up there, but if we have Bowen up there and we have certain players that weren't necessarily 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-time All-Stars, then why wouldn't Patty be up there? I'm just saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility.
You're saying an argument can be made. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So arguments to be made. If we had to get rid of one of the other, LaMarcus or DeMar DeRozan, which one would you want to get rid of?
LaMarcus Aldridge. And I think this summer was proof of that. When he was back in San Antonio, good old Alamo City, rehabbing, we saw DeMar DeRozan elevate the play of the young Spurs core. That was proof in Orlando. And I think also because DeMar DeRozan on the court is a facilitator. He's a game changer. He can help elevate the players around him. I don't feel comfortable saying the same with LaMarcus Aldridge.
That pains me a little bit because I really like LaMarcus. I really do. None of my friends believe this, but I truly believe that he is on the cusp of being a Hall of Fame player. He is going to be a Hall of Fame player. Kind of interesting to see, is he going to be considered more a Spur or a Blazer? Maybe if he goes back to Portland,
Good
that's what it
question.
would be. But the Spurs are going to have a lot of money next year. I mean, look who they have locked down. They have locked down DeJounte. Hopefully they get something done with Derek White. Lonnie Walker's locked down. Pirtle, Eubanks. Maybe they work out something with Trey Lyles. You have Devin Vassell will be locked down for a while. Trey Jones will be locked down for a while. And they all have something in common except for DeJounte. They're all very manageable contracts. So the Spurs are going to have money. In fact, it's expected that they'll be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the NBA next offseason when it comes to salary cap space. If there's no more LaMarcus or no more DeMar DeRozan.
Right.
Legitimately, who are we going to get? We're going to spend that money on somebody.
Yes, this is true. You mentioned not this season, but next season, and that just makes me so nervous. But because of all the question marks, I mean, it's hard to be talking 2 seasons away, especially when we just went through what we did with the NBA in this pandemic in 2020, and how if there's anything we've learned, it's that nothing is for sure. And I think we're starting to see kind of the landscape of this league as well as other sports leagues changing because of the loss of revenue, because of the big hits that these leagues have taken, not just the NBA. So, it makes me a little nervous to look that far ahead. But yeah, the Spurs will have a lot of cap space, and I think they should go for some star with a little bit of name power. Question is, who's going to be available, right? I mean, we just saw this week in the matter of 48 hours, a whole bunch of players get locked down. Gordon Hayward. We saw the big deal last week with Milwaukee and the Pelicans and Drew Holiday. So, yes, should they go after somebody with that money? Of course they should. Is it going to be a big, big name like Giannis or LeBron? No. That's not the Spurs way anyways.
Looking at some of the big names that are unrestricted free agents for next year, Kyle Lowry, Paul Millsap, Otto Porter Jr., Rudy Gobert, Nicholas Batum, Victor Oladipo, who great player but wrong position for us. This is just one of those things where just because you have the money doesn't mean that you have anybody to spend it on. I don't want the Spurs to spend money for the sake of spending it because I'm going through all of these names, Jabari Parker, Robin Lopez, Derrick Rose. I mean, we'd have to go after a restricted free agent and go toe-to-toe with another team and try to outbid somebody. But when it comes to unrestricted free agents, there's nobody there that I even like.
Yeah.
So as a Spurs fan, hey, Cade Cunningham, baby, let's tank for him. Because the 2021 draft is supposed to have somewhere between 6 and 8 stars, maybe 8 to 10 all-stars in there, or really super solid players. Think about it this way. I saw an article that said that the top player in the draft this year, if they were in the draft next year, probably would have gone number 8.
Really?
So that says a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see. So like I said, I want those Spurs to do well, and if they do well organically, because it just comes together like the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League. It just all comes together, and they win it. Great. But if not, I ain't going to be mad at them. Get the lottery, get that extra pick, because superstars, Giannis ain't coming here, so why even look in that direction? We're going to be back in a little bit. We're going to be talking a little bit about vacation spots, right? Because it's Christmas time. People are going to want to go out and about. I know there's COVID and whatnot, but some people still want to hit the road. Jill is actually with YOLO, Texas. She has a trip coming up, going to Vegas. So people call the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines at 210-656-ESPN and give Jill some recommendations, because she is actually going to be, I believe, at the Venetian.
That's right. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You're listening to The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio. You're home for the holidays.
There's a special fantasy guides to get you ready for the Thanksgiving weekend. Tune in tomorrow from 4 to 5. The Fantasy Gods is brought to you by RDK Advisors, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
This ESPN San Antonio Sports Center update is brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners, 274-6122.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who refuse to let happy hour end without squeezing in one more round. The type of guys who would rather sweat from unspeakable places than stop eating the spiciest wings on the menu. And the men who still chuckle when they order their wings bone in. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
I want the house.
What? All the money I spent and you think you should get?
Why shouldn't I? All the sacrifices I made for your precious little business.
That business paid for everything you have.
The business I was never paid to work for?
Oh, don't even go there.
Oh, I'm going there.
Divorce can be ugly, especially for your spouse. Call the Kalfas Law Group today. Prepare yourself before they do. 212-6969. That's 212-6969. The Kalfas Law Group, the group that specializes in divorce.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get 20% off 3 or more items with the $4.99 Napa Tool Bag. Yep, 20% off power tools, 20% off wipers, 20% off oil, and more. It's a whole bag of tricks. Well, actually, it's one trick over and over again, but it's a good one, saving you 20% on 3 or more items. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/20.
Hello?
Hi, I'm calling on behalf of the Mice Nest.
Mice Nest?
Yes, Mice Nest. It's a nest of mice. They finished chewing through your RV wiring, so the fire should start soon.
Can we cancel that?
Oh, sorry. Once scheduled, they can't really stop because they're mice. A nest of them.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
Oh, and if you could stay on the line for a quick survey.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Message and data rates may apply. Up to 5 messages a month. No guarantee of credit score increase. TNC and privacy policy found at possiblefinance.com/privacy.
I screwed up my credit when I was younger.
I often find myself scraping by right before rent is due.
If you need cash or are looking to rebuild credit, Possible Finance can loan you up to $500 in minutes. Good credit not required. Just text LOAN to 64,000 to download the Possible Finance app.
Within an hour of applying, there was money on my debit card. Where else are you going to get money at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night?
Repay the loan in installments and change your payment date with no fee.
For someone who's building credit, this is the best. My credit score went up after the first 2 payments.
I had trouble paying, so I moved my payment 2 weeks later without hurting my score. It helped big time.
Just text LOAN to 64,000 to download the Possible Finance app and get the money you need in minutes. Text LOAN to 64,000 to download Possible Finance. Text LOAN to 64,000.
Welcome back to the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. Always on the go at ESPNSA.com. I want to recap our lead story from earlier today. We started the show at 4 o'clock. By the way, Jill Jelnick and I my name's Michael Jimenez, by the way, former Rock the Mic champion, host of the Fantasy Gods. We're filling in for Rob and Jason today. Early in the show at 4 o'clock, we talked about what happened in Dallas today and how crazy it is. And really, it has been quiet ever since. Not sure if you heard the story, but it was reported by many reputable sites that a Dallas Cowboys coach had died this morning, and that was the reason why the Cowboys canceled their practice today. Now, a couple of hours later, those stories get retracted, and they say, no, that coach is actually in the hospital still alive. Absolutely stunning, absolutely crazy, maybe a little bit reckless on how that was all reported. But the coach that we're talking about is the strength and conditioning coach named Marcus Paul, and he's been with the Cowboys since 2018. So he's been there for a little while. Actually won 5 rings, 3 with the New England Patriots and 2 with the New York Giants. And speaking of the New York Giants, they have actually released a statement on Twitter saying the Mara and Tisch families and the entire New York Giants organization are praying for Marcus Paul. Marcus was a beloved member of the Giants from 2007 to 2018. Our thoughts and prayers are with Marcus and his family. The thing about the NFL is that it is a fraternity. It's a family. And I know that there's rivalries, and I know there's things like that, but at the end of the day, it's still just a game, and you have a Cowboys coach out there who might be fighting for his life. And when the call came down and the reports started coming down today, they were basically saying it's non-COVID related, and then later on they said it's not Jerry Jones, and then later on they said it's very serious, and then these other reports kind of came in. Jill, when you first heard about this, what were your thoughts?
I think you put it best, Michael. At the end of the day, yeah, we first think of these players as players and athletes, and these coaches as coaches and their staff and as our team. But at the end of the day, they're people. And I liked what you said, a fraternity, a family. And it's I remember my first thought is just, that's right. Come almost like a grounding feeling of, wow, sure, we got caught up in their big win on Sunday. And yeah, we can talk all we want about the NFC East and how horrible it is, this division. We love talking about that stuff. But when it comes to matters like this, someone's life, someone's health, that it's very grounding. And I think it brings that full perspective. Right? That's right. It is just a game. These are more than just players and athletes. And this is someone's life we're talking about, and it should be taken very seriously. And that's why it is alarming that so many media outlets early on today were reporting something that wasn't factual.
Such a young man, too, 54 years old. And I'm not going to speculate as to anything, and no one should. And right now, the Cowboys have clamped down and haven't said anything in the last 5 hours other than saying that they want prayers, they want positive energy sent their way. And we have to be thinking about these players who are going to be taking the field on Thursday, whether or not this coach, unfortunately, is alive or has passed or whatnot. Unfortunately, it is a business, and I don't think there's anything that's going to stop that game on Thursday, stop that traditional game, that Thanksgiving game against the Washington football team. But these are humans. These are people, and that coach could have been a mentor to some of these players, could have been a father figure to some of these players, could have just been a friend to some of these players and these coaches. Very serious situation. So our thoughts and prayers, our positive vibes, our energy, positive energy going to Coach Marcus Paul for the situation that he's going through right now. Let's talk about the Cowboys a little bit. NFC East on the this is a really big game against the Washington football team. If you had to handicap it and say, this is what I think is going to happen, this is who I think is going to win, who do you got and why?
Cowboys, momentum coming off of their win against the Vikings. I think that was a pivotal game, and I think that Vikings game we're going to circle back to at the end of the season and say that was a huge turning point for this team, solely because that was a different team than we've seen this entire season. Andy Dalton, fantastic in pressure, was able to make the plays the team needed to in the moments they needed them. That was huge. Zeke, we finally saw the Zeke we know and love. I felt like he came into his own, over 100 yards rushing. And then also the offense. We've known it from the very beginning since Dak was leading the way that this offense is talented, but it was almost like we couldn't get the puzzle pieces together to fit in the right way. I think because of the way they played and how they won that game, that will carry over into their game on Thanksgiving Day against Washington.
I've been accused for many, many years of being a Cowboys hater. Okay, because I grew up a Houston Oilers fan. And
well, that makes a lot of sense.
I became a football orphan, and then
poor thing.
And then Hurricane Katrina happened, and the Saints came to San Antonio, and that's when I started following them because I went to their games when they were at the Alamo Dome. And a lot of people have given me a pass on that. They go, yeah, they did come to San Antonio. They did have Drew Brees, and he was from Austin. So, okay. So I kind of get a pass from Cowboy fan, right? But the thing is that I haven't that whole Cowboys hate has actually dissipated over time. Because now it's been so long. Since 1996.
You're starting to feel sorry for them.
I had this ongoing joke that, the Cowboys have been so long since winning the Super Bowl that they can now drive. They can now get into a rated R movie. They can now drink. they can now that they can rent a car, right? I am kind of half-heartedly, kind of reluctantly rooting for them, and I'd like to see them do well the rest of the way because they've just been through so much this year, especially with what's going on with the coaching staff. Right now, Vegas has the Cowboys as a 3-point favorite, which kind of concerns me a little bit.
Really? It concerns you?
It concerns me because I do a lot of sports gambling, and one of the things about a 3-point favorite in football, if you're favored at home by 3, that means Vegas thinks it's a pick 'em.
Okay.
That means Vegas thinks that on a neutral field, they are equal. And they're just giving you the 3 points because you're at home. If I had to choose, though, if I had to pick this out, I'm going to go ahead and say more than momentum. I'm going to say emotion also wins the day for the Cowboys this week.
Yeah, that's good.
I think a 27-17 type of win. But you know what? Alex Smith is on the other side of the field, and that's also a feel-good story, too.
Oh, it's one of the best feel-good stories with Alex Smith in his recovery.
So I wouldn't mind if it goes the other way. But you know what? Because of all the things that have gone on in 2020, I would just hope the Cowboy fans get a win on Thanksgiving, just simply because it's been a long year for all of us. Cowboy fans deserve it. And Zeke is returning to form. Hey, Pollard is finally playing very well. So.
Looked good as well.
And there was a Michael Gallup sighting this past. Yeah, look at him go. Hey, when we come back, we're going to put a bow on the show. Talk a little bit something not so serious. We're going to talk about a little bit of travel. Jill's going to Vegas. We need to give her some positive vibes. We need to give her some luck. Give her some tips on where to go, where to eat, where to be.
I like it.
You're listening to The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, your home for the holidays.
ESPN San Antonio wants to pay for your home in 2021. ESPN San Antonio's Home for the Holidays contest. Entry and details at ESPNSA.com. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you know your brakes are going bad or you think they're going bad, you need to go to newbrakes.com. Jason Minix here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. New Brakes has made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they'll come to you. They'll come to your home or your office, wherever you are. Their certified brake techs will fix your brakes while you continue to live your life. Do what you are doing. You take this Thanksgiving week. A lot of people are at home right now, taking a couple of days off. You don't want to spend that time waiting at a brake repair shop, do you? But you know you need to get your brakes fixed. You can continue doing whatever it is you're doing while your brakes get fixed. Most repairs are done in less than an hour, and New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Save 10% when you mention my name when you schedule your repair at New Brakes, nubrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
Guys, be a hero this holiday season by getting a cleaning from Mom Needs a Break Cleaning. We spend a lot of time looking for the perfect gift. How about the gift of a clean house that doesn't require you cleaning baseboards? Call 210-815-1399. Mom Needs a Break Cleaning is an affordable and professional way for you to get hero status. For residential and commercial cleaning services, call 210-815-1399. That's 210-815-1399. Or go to momneedsabreakcleaning.com.
This football season, more than any other, we're all reflecting on the wonder years of football. And in celebrating the heart of America's favorite sport, we've got a bold snack that'll help rekindle some really great memories. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave, like Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Get them at HEB because, hey, pigskins and pigskins, they go together. Visit porkrinds.com to see how you can win $5,000 when you celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day with Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body.
I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com.
Patients taking Ibrance can develop low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infections that can lead to death. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs that can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Those Aggies, official sponsor of the college football playoff, and we're here to say it's smooth, not to mention refreshing. Those great at tailgates, buy some now. DOSTQUIS, those Aggies, that spells beer.
For your next tailgate here in San Antonio, grab some ice-cold Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
It is the Blitz on ESPN San Antonio, 1250 AM, 94.5 FM. It's getting dark outside. You know what that means. It is our last segment. My name is Michael Jimenez, former Rock the Mic champion and co-host of the Fantasy Gods on Sunday mornings at 11. Joined by Jill Jeldnick. You might know her from Yolo, Texas, where she gets paid to travel, eat, and drink. By the way,
not a bad job.
Oh, no. She's also on Sports Tonight. She's also on that site. Here's the thing about YOLO Texas. By the way, the website's YOLOTX.com. If you watch the show when it's on TV or you go online to watch it, just let you know it's going to turn into a guilty pleasure. I was on there yesterday. I'll check out 10 minutes of her stuff. 3 hours later, my wife and I are still watching it. Maybe not 3 hours.
It's addicting. Yeah.
It was at least
at
least a good hour and a half. What do you enjoy about it?
Oh man. I mean, other than the food and the awesome places we get to go to, the people, how passionate these people are about their towns, whether it's a big town, whether it's a big city or a small town. These are Texans that know what other Texans love. You know, what from barbecue to fun drinks, mango nadas. I had my first mango nada on the show. That was life-changing. So I think it's just been such a great experience, but also a really cool state. And I don't think you can do this within just any other state.
The show it's probably going to cost me a lot of money because I saw a different correspondent did one on Margaritaville. Like
yes, Margaritaville in Conroe. Yes, over by Houston. Margaritaville Resort. It's beautiful.
And my wife was like, "You're taking me there." and I'm like, "Okay, babe, let me see how much it costs." And she's like, "No, you're just taking me there. That is just it." I'm going to New Orleans this weekend, Friday morning at 7 a.m. You can catch me on some Southwest Airlines flight out of SAT.
There you go.
And I'll be in New Orleans with my wife, kind of an early celebration for her. It's her birthday next week. So we'll check out some jazz, do a lot of eating over there, probably get, hungover once or twice. That's a nice plug for James Pledger. So Saturday morning hangover, Jack Thompson with Thompson as well. Here's the thing. You're going to Vegas.
That's right. Celebrating my aunt's 60th birthday. So there you go.
I have been to Vegas, no lie, 35 times.
Wow.
Okay. I am a Vegas veteran. I have friends, if they're going for the first time or the first time in a long time, they'll ask me to go, because I know the
just
stuff.
because you know the ropes.
What do you need to know about Vegas when you're going? Because you've been there before, but you're going now, and what do you want to know?
So I obviously love, hence my work with YOLO Texas. I love restaurants, food, unique, whether it's unique foods or unique drinks. So I would love any suggestions for that. But a little birdie told me that you, Michael, are quite the poker player, and you could maybe give me some tips when it comes to hitting the poker table.
Interesting. Okay. Well, first of all, since you're staying at the Venetian, Delmonico Steakhouse at the Venetian. Delmonico.
Okay, Delmonico, writing it down.
It is amazing. And here's a fun fact. The same food at night is the same food during the day, but during the day for lunch, it's half the price.
Oh, okay. Good fun fact.
Delmonico for lunch is very, very good. I'm a poker player. I've played the World Series of Poker a couple of times. Not the main event, but I've played, the $1,000 or $1,500 buy-in events.
Still, that is so cool.
One of my favorite stories is, though, when I played several years ago, I outlasted 80% of the field. There's 2,799 players, and I lasted to like the low 600s. And the top 480 paid out, and people were dropping like flies. At that point, it was every table could only do one hand because so many people were exiting. And the guy had a one-outer. He had one card that could beat me, and it came out. He got
there. It was.
Yeah, I got top two pair. He got trips on the and it was one card that could have done it because one guy had already mucked one of those 10s. I still remember that it was a 10. But one of the funny stories about that was I went back to the Venetian, which is where I was staying. I took a nap, came back downstairs, played my first hand of Pai Gow poker, hit a bonus for $1,500, got all my money back first hand. And then I took that money, went over to MGM Grand, and I ended up watching a boxing match while I was over there, a Manny Pacquiao fight. So it was a good weekend.
That's a pretty good story. Yeah, I would say you are a Vegas veteran. Yes, you can be allowed that title.
Yeah, I have a lot of stories about Vegas, man. I have so much fun over there. My favorite places to play. One of my favorite places is actually Planet Hollywood. They have a Super Bowl party typically where it's $250 to play to go. Sounds like a lot of money, but the party starts 2 hours before the game, lasts the 5 hours of the Super Bowl, and then the 2 hours after that, it's all you can eat, all you can drink.
There you go.
You name it. And it doesn't matter if it's 5-star food or hot dogs. They will give it to you, whatever you want. So Super Bowl, that's it. And I'm also looking forward to going back if there's a March Madness this year. There's a lot of new sports books going up over there. There's one big one.
Circa, we're checking it out.
Really?
I'll give you my full report on it. We're going there Sunday because on the West Coast, kickoff is at 10 a.m.
So what do you play normally?
What games or sportsbook or just games in general? I just stick to I love the slots and a little bit blackjack 21, a little bit of roulette if I'm really feeling lucky. But gosh, I'm just excited to check out that sportsbook. With all the TVs and the outdoor area as well. So I'll have to give you a full report when I come back.
One of the worst stories I have about gambling was I went to a casino one time where this old lady came up to me.
Oh, gosh.
And, I mean, she probably passed away 8 years before, but was still walking. She sat down next to me at the roulette wheel and said, hi, can I play your numbers? And I said, sure. And I would put a chip down. She would put a chip down. My chip was $1. Her chips were $1,000. At the end of an hour, I won $250. She won $250,000. And I'm standing there like an idiot hoping that she'd tip me. Just throw me 2 of those chips.
They were your numbers.
and nothing. Circle around like 8 hours later. I go down there for breakfast and I'm looking and she's still playing. She goes, son, your numbers have been winning all night. And I said, well, she didn't tip me at all.
Hey, only in Vegas, my friend.
Hey, good luck out there. Have a safe trip out there.
You too. Safe travels to you as well.
Social distance. They have those. Yep. They have those encased areas for craps playing.
Oh yeah.
That's good times. Jill, thank you so much for playing with me today on the Blitz. This has been a blast. Rob and Jason, thank you so much for trusting us with your baby, with the show. It's been a fantastic time. My name is Michael Jimenez. Tomorrow, we're going to have only a 1-hour show from 4 to 5. It's going to be a special edition of the Fantasy Gods, last 2 weeks of the fantasy season. So you're going to want to know who to play, who not to play. We're going to have a good conversation about that. This has been The Blitz on ESPN San Antonio.